gonna cherish that guinea neath the green bay tree. My little guinea goes potter-ack, my little duck goes quack quack, my little hen goes cluck cluck, little rooster goes cock-a-doodle-doo,
Charles, it's like soul music, man, for white people.
Oh, I can feel it in my body.
You can feel it.
My corn nibblers are all tingly. When I go cluck cluck.
When I go cluck cluck.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. So I live my life.
I love it. I love it, Charles.
Todd Lewis said, not this song again. I hate to break it to you, Todd Lewis, but this is now the song for every damn show.
It's our official, unofficial theme song. How's that sound?
It is. It's our rooster song. It's beautiful rockin' poetry here on Frightmare HQ on a Wednesday. We need it though, don't we?
We do it. We do. We do need some of
Let
that.
me tell you guys, 2007 is a son of a bitch year. There's like 6,000 movies, so I hope you guys got a pea jar and some Fritos because you're gonna be here for a while tonight. I'm
You're
sorry.
Gonna be here for a while. Yeah. It's a big list, and it's a lot of good ones too. So
they're all good. That was the problem. I was
Yeah.
telling Lloyd that like I had to give up on the honorable mentions because there was too many honorable mentions. Like I did one like a 43-minute honorable mentions video. I was like, all right, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Let's just roll.
Well, all right. Well, here we are. This is Frightmare HQ. We are covering 2007, the year in horror.
2007, the monster year.
And we want to welcome everybody that is tuning in currently right now.
Right now.
Yep, and number one, Eduardo Gonzalez.
Oh, man, Eduardo makes me so tingly inside.
That's
I'm
right.
glad he's here.
David Dugas.
No. Dugas.
Dugas. I'm sorry.
Hello.
I'm sorry. I'm reverting back.
My name is
reverting back.
Dugas.
Downtown Travis Brown.
Oh, it's Travis. Travis has been doing all of his classes, his acting classes. I told him we missed him on Saturday, but he was acting.
Oh my!
He's an actor.
Goodness.
He's getting too famous for us, Lloyd. He's like, I don't have time for you guys anymore.
Excuse me.
I'm DT. Excuse me.
Thespian.
That's man. We love you,
Well,
Travis. We miss you when you're
Good
not
deal,
around.
Travis. That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Todd Lewis.
Oh, Todd Lewis makes you Lewis. I don't know what that. I can't think of anything that rhymes right now.
I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
Let's go with it.
So JRE is here, Mr. Estrada. Hello, sir.
What's up, Mr. Estrata?
Let's see what else we got. Keep scrolling. I'm scrolling, y'all. Y'all are making me scroll. Stephen Bird is here.
Oh, Bert, making it hurt on a Wednesday.
That is correct. Chrissy Gilliland.
Gilliland. Every time you say
Tyler
Chrissy Gilliland,
Burrows.
comes on. Oh, Burrows makes sure it's thorough.
Ah.
Ah.
And I think I'm down. Erica Dugas is here.
Dugas!
I'm so sorry.
Dugas, Lloyd.
Ooh, and look,
Dugas.
there's Anna Lee. What's up, Anna Lee?
What's up, Anna?
So here we go. You guys ready to start this one? I think we should kick it right off, Charles.
We got to start this, and Lloyd, you've got the first one. So you're starting off with a very interesting film. It's like a
It
way
is
to describe
interesting,
it.
but you know what? It's interesting in a good way.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie. Go ahead.
All right. Let me get my bearings straight here.
Get him straight. Get him slightly askew. They don't have to be straight.
This
Slightly
bearing is
askew.
good over here, and this bearing. All right, this is good. All right.
Is it good enough?
So yes. All right, here we go. Still a stranger to her own body, a high school student discovers she has a physical advantage when she becomes the object of male violence. First premiering January 19th, 2007 at the Sundance Film Festival. It's the American body horror comedy Teeth, written and directed by Mitchell Lichtenstein. Lichtenstein.
He sounds like a Nazi general. I am Mitchell Lichtenstein.
Oh boy.
You must obey.
You must. Are we doing
He
Udo?
probably knows Udo Kier.
Yeah.
I am Udo Kier. I am very famous Hollywood actor. Sorry. Let's do it.
That's fine. So Teeth, yeah, it's a good movie. I like it. Let's watch the trailer. How we do that?
Well, it's a clip, and it's probably a fun clip. I love this clip. Let's do it.
Okay.
Throw it in.
Here it goes.
Lie back and relax.
Oh no, it's happening, guys. It's
boy.
happening.
Breathe.
Just lie back and relax and breathe.
This is what happens every time I go to Lloyd's house. It's like, all right, Charles, get up in the stirrups. I'm like, shit.
That's right.
He's like, I'm putting on Nail Gun Massacre, all right? And I'm like,
Here it
damn, I know
goes.
what's happening. Here it goes.
Good tight. Relax.
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie.
Is it normal to go to a gynecologist and him to say, "Whew, you're tight"? Is that normal?
Did he just say that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that might be
Ooh.
odd.
You're so tight, girl. Ooh. This is a great movie, guys. If you haven't seen this, I'd highly recommend watching it. It's hilarious, as well as being a horror film. It was shot out in Austin, and this is Mitchell's actually a really good director. He hasn't done a whole lot, surprisingly, but he did a really great job on this, capturing this insane story. It's like a teen movie on crack. It just keeps going and going. It never stops.
I really didn't know what I was in for when I went into this movie. But I soon learned, too, that vagina dentata is a thing, was a thing before this movie, and has been a thing for a long time, which I was not aware of until this movie.
Well, it opened up a new world for you of
did.
killer vaginas.
A whole new world.
Don't
Vagina
you dare close your
dentata is coming for you.
Nothing like a vagina that cuts off your fingers. Da, 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 da. You say I'm only dreaming.
Vagina dentata.
Yeah. So that's what it means. It's an ancient trope of vagina dentata. Guys, if you guys aren't aware, that's the word of the week. So everybody this week has to use the word vagina dentata in a sentence to your normal friends and family. So better get with it.
Look, Charles, when this movie came out, I was using the phrase vagina dentata repeatedly. As much as I could. Anytime I could wedge that into a conversation.
You're gonna just use that every time. You're like, well, you know, my vagina dentata is quite rampant this time of year. It gets very mad when it rains outside.
No, it usually starts out by saying something like, have I told you about my Lord and Savior, vagina dentata?
He's down there protecting me. Mm-hmm.
Vagina,
He's my friend.
dentata, vagina, dentata.
That's a musical.
I know.
You'd be like, West Side Story.
Yeah.
Vagina, dentata, vagina, dentata.
It's also kind of a tongue twister the more you say that over and over.
Can you say it 7 times fast?
I'm not going to try.
Do it.
Nope. You do it. Let's talk about the movie, man. Let's
No,
talk
the movie's
about
actually,
the movie.
It's disturbing, but it's really is a fun comedy film. You know, if you know about the premise, which I think a lot of people do, you're gonna think it's like this typical B horror like stupid movie, but it's not. It's the movie is a little restrained, even though it's quite out there. But there are a lot of crazy shots, like the scene we just saw. It's so nuts. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's a memorable film, and it's It's like a balance of graphic and restrained. Like it's like you feel like they're holding back, and then they're just like, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
It's like whoa.
I remember, if I remember correctly, there's like a flashback scene to when she was little and they were in a kiddie pool. Am I remembering that correctly?
That's just your own personal regressions of your memory. So.
No. Isn't that a scene in the movie though? And that's when they discover her vagina dentata or something like that.
Dentata, her magic vagina dentata. But it's got a lot of charm.
I'm gonna agree with you, Charles. It's how you said that it was a restraint of over the line and balanced.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so true. That's a really good way of describing this movie. It's not like over the line trauma, you know.
No, it kind of stays away from the line. Then every now and then, when somebody's not looking, it's like, look where I am. I'm over the line.
I'm over the line, right.
It balances quite well, and it's Yeah, I mean, it's a fun watch. It doesn't have a lot of rewatchability, in my opinion, but if you haven't seen it, it's a lot of fun to watch the first time, especially with a large group of people. Maybe if you've had a few of these, you can rewatch it with a bunch of people. You can have a great time. Let's just say that.
Yep, totally agree.
You
All
agree
right.
with me? I'm so excited, Lloyd.
Where can we watch this one, Charlie the Bear?
Well, I'm actually quite surprised. This is on Prime Video. Why Prime?
Sweet.
But you can also get it on Roku and Tubi, free with ads. $4 rental on Amazon and Apple TV. This has never been released on Blu-ray. How sad is that? Never been released on Blu-ray. The DVD is out of print, and I looked it up. It's like $40 to $50 on eBay to get one. That's sad.
Yeah,
That is sad.
I
Raven
may
Rose
have
just
the
tipped
DVD.
us.
I'm not sure.
Raven Rose just tipped us $5. Thank you,
What?
Raven.
I guess the
You
alert
are.
will pop up here in a minute.
That's our person, Raven Road. Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Nothing like a little bit of vagina talk to wake up the crowd. Right?
Exactly. All right, there it is. Raven Rose tipped $5 through Super Chat. Thank you, Raven.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Thanks, Raven.
We appreciate it.
You are awesome. You are awesome. Yeah. Teet's fun, guys. Give it a watch. And, it was filmed, I think we mentioned, but it was filmed in Texas. It's an Austin movie. So I was going to support those Texas movies.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Let's move on to the next one. I saw Teeth, and I think I've seen just about everything on this list. I saw The Signal in a press screening years and I guess, whenever this came out, was it 07? I guess maybe it was the end of 06 that I saw that press screening.
Well, let me introduce this next one. Let's roll with the introduction of this one here. And kind of going off that, though, guys, this is the first year I think that's made me feel super old, like time is flying by fast, because I saw like every single movie in this list, almost every movie in the list in theaters in 2007, and I was like, wait, it was 13 years ago? I was like,
That's
what the hell
crazy,
is
right,
happening?
Charles? It's crazy.
And most of these movies I can remember seeing in theaters, like vividly, but the next one is actually a good one. I didn't see this in theaters, but I kind of saw it shortly after. A mysterious transmission that turns people into killers invades every cell phone, radio, television, microwave, pantyhose warmer, toilet, everything. It's everywhere, guys. This actually also first premiered at the Sundance Film Festival on January 22nd, 2007. It is the American sci-fi horror film The Signal, which is written and directed by David Bruckner, Dan Bush, and Jacob Gentry. It's a 3-person director job here because it's 3 different stories that meld together. And I love this movie, man. I think this is a great movie. How about you?
I was really impressed with the first opening scene, and I thought, wow, we are in for a ride,
It slows down, though.
It slows, and then it immediately slows down, like you said, Charles. It's just like abrupt. It's like, okay, we were on a pace here. What happened? And I mean, if you stick it out, yes, I think it's a good ride. It's a good movie. It's fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you have to kind of make it over that hump.
You have to make it over that hump. I did say, I like this movie a lot, but I'll say that the one thing I think didn't work in this movie is I feel like the directors didn't really know what each other were doing with the stories.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what it felt like. Like they all had an ideal of what they were shooting, but their styles were so different in their head of where they were going that when it put it together, it just felt weird. Like you're saying, like you start off really hardcore and then you're just kind of like going somewhere and then you're like, what's going on? And then it brings itself back and kind of one of those where it doesn't feel like they were meshing well,
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think it's worth a watch. It's very critically acclaimed. This one is, a lot of. I've heard a lot of good words about this. Very rarely do I hear anybody trash it. Look, we do have a trailer though. Let's show that, and we'll keep talking about it.
Yeah. Do have a trailer, and this is an independent film. So for being an independent film, it is really, really well done. It has all the mixings of a horror classic in it, really. And like you said, everybody's sort of favorites are the first and last segments, and those are the ones that felt like they went really well together. It's the middle segment that kind of starts going a little off, you know, like
Right.
Everybody's out in the hallway.
the director didn't know what he was doing in that middle segment to bring everybody together, but it's definitely well written. I feel like it's a little strangely paced, if that makes sense, because it starts off super fast, gets slow, and then gets fast again. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to keep in there.
Dude, that opening scene, though, it's the whole opening thing is incredible.
And it catches you. You're like, well, I'm watching this movie now.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
They got me.
And then, like you said, it slows down, and then you're like, you know, oh, I thought this was going to be great, and then it, you know, picks up steam again. Yeah, it's kind of, is disjointed a good way to describe it?
That's a good way, disjointed. Yeah, that's a good word for it. But you know, I feel like the acting in it is pretty good. And Nessa Ramsey's in this, and she's a pretty good actress. Hasn't been around much, but she's really good in this. It's a mixed bag. Anybody out there seen this one? Let me know what you guys think of this one. I enjoy it. Again, I feel like it has rewatchability in the sense of rewatching the opening scene and then flipping it off if you've already seen it. But
Yeah,
I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun.
agreed. Perfect. So that one looks like it's on Prime Video as well.
Prime's rocking it, man. Prime's rocking it for 2007 so far.
That's awesome. And then Voodoo or Tubi, free with ads, $2.99 rental on Amazon, or there is a $7.99 Blu-ray that is available.
$7.99. What are we gonna do with that?
I don't know. It's like a $5 footlongs.
Yeah, $5 footlong. All right. Yeah, Bill. Everybody who made this movie hasn't really went on to a whole lot. You know, when I first saw this, I kind of thought that the directors were going to go on to a bunch. Now, I know that the reboot of Hellraiser is supposed to be directed by David Bruckner, who is one of the directors of this. He's attached to direct the Hellraiser reboot. So, and I believe he's the one who did the opening first segment. So that's kind of what's got me a little bit excited about a Hellraiser reboot, maybe done by him, because to me, he understands brutality in a way that Clive Barker kind of understood with the original Hellraiser. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Is the reboot that you're talking about the TV series that they announced?
Well, that's the thing is I'm not really sure. I know he is attached to what's supposed to be a reboot of a movie itself. So now, as of right now, there are like 3 different Hellraiser reboots in production.
Yep.
There's a TV series, there's a movie, and then there's a supposed sequel to another Hellraiser movie. So I don't know what's going on with the rights to this movie. I know Clive Barker finally got the rights back, so we may end up losing all these movies that are made, and we may end up actually getting a decent Hellraiser movie from Clive Barker finally.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that, you know?
There you go. All right, well, let's move on to the next one.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What's
All right.
next? I don't have no excited. I just wanted to sound excited.
Yeah, uh-oh.
Oh, shit, it's coming, guys.
Oh.
What is it? I don't know.
All right, so a young widower returns
Redderer.
to his hometown to search for answers to his wife's murder, which may be linked to the ghost of a deceased ventriloquist.
You say the goose?
Ghost.
The goose. I said the goose. I was like, the goose?
No,
Like
that's-
the Christmas goose?
That's what it sounds like when a redneck tries to do a British accent. You get ghost.
Pip cheerio and all that stuff.
Pip. All right, blah, blah, blah. Deceased ventriloquist, March 16th, 2007. It's the American supernatural horror film Dead Silence, directed by James Wan.
Ooh, James Wan. The man, the myth, the legend who brought us what? Saw. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
So,
Well,
go
ahead.
all I'm going to say is I tried to watch this once and I never got all the way through it. So, I don't know how great it is or not great. I've heard good things.
Let me tell you, I don't mind. I don't mind Dead Silence. I don't think it's as good as James Wan's, beginning work and some of the other stuff he's done. Of course, James Wan at this point is infamous. He did Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, and compared to those, this is absolute trash because he did those movies, and now he's went on to do freaking Aquaman and stuff. But standalone, I think this is a fun movie. He wrote the original story for it, but in reality, Lee Winnell did the screenplay. Now, we know Lee Winnell also wrote Saw. This is his partner in crime with Saw, and yeah, I feel like it's like you said, it's kind of a mixed bag. Like I've met people who absolutely love this movie. I've met people who hate this movie. I'm kind of in between. I watched it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it still holds up well for the year we're in. I think it's pretty refreshing, pretty original, but
okay,
it's definitely a throwback. Like I feel like it could be a movie that William Castle made like 60 years ago. That's kind of what it feels like.
Well, that's a fun style of movie. So
yeah, it's a fun style. If you couldn't get through it, I'd recommend maybe trying to watch it again. There is an unrated version out there that's like 5 minutes longer, and get through a little bit of it because it's kind of hard to start with because you're really waiting for a lot of stuff to happen, and maybe it doesn't. He reuses, of course, Donnie Wahlberg's in this again, and I am not a fan of Donnie Wahlberg. He needs to stick to Hanging Tough with the New Kids on the Block because I'm not a Donnie Wahlberg actor fan. It's just me. That's kind of what killed it for me. But
yeah,
overall, it's an old school style horror. James Wan, I don't know if we're going to see much like this from him ever again. When you're getting $40 million to direct Aquaman 2, you're not really going to go back and do movies like Dead Silence and The Conjuring. You're probably not going to see him back. So
yeah,
I was surprised he did The Conjuring 2 back in 2016, like after doing Fast and Furious and all that.
Oh yeah, because I remember when he did Fast and Furious, he was like, "That's it, I'm leaving. I'm not doing any more horror." And then he came back, and I was like, "Oh, I thought he was out."
And that's where I met him, surprisingly, is I was in LA at a weird TV event for Fast and Furious 7 that had a bunch of the cast there from Fast and Furious 7, and James Wan was sitting in the audience for some reason. They introduced him as being in the audience, and he went on stage, and I talked to him very briefly, but it was really weird. I was just like, thank you for all you've done to horror, even though we're at this Fast and Furious thing.
Yeah.
James Wan. He was a nice guy, though. He was a really nice guy, but yeah, had to keep this one in there, though, because people love this movie, and it's on Cinemax, guys. You can rent it on Amazon and Apple TV. Blu-ray's out there everywhere. It's $11 for a Blu-ray. I think a lot of our people have seen this one. It's one of those that, like David Dugas said, recommend giving it a chance at watching it. So
yeah, I saw that. So yeah, I'm definitely going to give it a try.
Oh, Travis said it's a step-by-step process to like Donnie Wahlberg. Oh, Travis.
Yeah.
You're such a hoot. Here, I'm going to give Travis one of these. Woo!
I'm going to agree with Brad on here, though. He said he never got into Fast and Furious movies. I'm the same. That was never my thing. I was never into car movies, and that's basically what that boils down to, right? It's just a car movie.
It does. Now, I'm a huge car exploitation nerd, and I'm also a huge car nerd, and I've always been into the Fast and Furious movies. I sat in the marathon not once but twice at Alamo Drafthouse for like 20 hours and watched these movies. I'm not even joking you. I have a problem. So
yeah,
that's for another day, though.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just one of those things. But what are we talking about?
Yeah, but
we're on Fast and Furious, man. I'm like, hey, yeah, Dead Silence.
Yeah. This is where we say, well, guys, Fast and Furious is a prequel to Dead Silence. No, I'm just bullshit. No, the story isn't bad. Like David Dugas said, give it a chance. It's not going to win any awards from anybody, but it's a fun old school style horror movie. Which that's kind of the thing is it's not for everybody. These old school style horror movies are not for everybody. It's a different time of horror. So
right.
I think it's fun. I don't think it's rewatchable, but I think it's fun. I have seen it like 3 times. I actually rewatched this last week because I knew we were doing 2007, and yeah, it still holds up. It's fun. Roll with it and
Boom.
do it.
Do it. I'm gonna go check it out myself.
You better. All right, so next up, though, Lloyd, we got 2 movies that go together, and I decided that we would do them separately instead of one. All right.
Okay, I'm into that. I'm actually glad
All
you
right.
gave me the other one.
Oh yeah, I made sure this one was mine, so I don't feel bad.
Okay, good. Because the other one is kind of mine. The way
I,
I consider it.
I leaned into car exploitation, so guess what? This is mine.
There you go.
100%.
That should give
100%,
everybody a clue what we're talking about here.
This movie still blows my freaking mind, and I love it. I watch this movie at least once every 2 or 3 months. That's no joke either. All right, guys. A scarred stuntman stalks voluptuous women and uses cars to execute his murderous plans. This first premiered April 6, 2007 as part of the Grindhouse double feature. It's the American exploitation, also car exploitation slasher film, Death Proof, that was written, directed, and shot by Quentin Tarantino. It's starring the greatest man who's ever lived, next to Udo Kier, Kurt Russell. And the movie itself was actually first shown standalone at the Cannes Film Festival in May of 2007. This movie is so good that I shit myself when I first watched it, and I had to go to the bathroom, take care of myself.
Charles, you and I, if I'm not mistaken, we saw this movie like 2 or 3 times together, didn't we?
Yes, we did. The whole Grindhouse thing, 3 hours, because it was it was one of those things that Frightmare was promoting at the time and part of. So we watched this so many damn times. I didn't care. It was good every time that we watched it. It was so much fun.
Oh yeah, you and I mean, I think we saw it. I just can't remember the first time, but oh my God, Charles!
I don't remember
just
either,
remember
but we
you
saw
and I
it.
kept watching it, and we were like, "Want to go see it again? Okay, let's go."
Okay. I saw this a total of 4 times in theaters. Grindhouse. That's 12 hours of cinema.
Yeah.
I saw this because this is. I guess getting Grindhouse out of the way, but this is like Death Proof is everything Charles loves in a movie. You've got cars. You've got car exploitation. You've got exploitation. And you've got a slasher film. That's what this really is. It's a slasher film.
Yeah,
when you
it kind
break
of
it
is.
down.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
And it's a slasher film with cars. It follows the same formula. Kurt Russell is so phenomenal in this movie. I tried to buy his jacket from this movie last year at auction, and somebody outbid me. And I was really pissed because there's obviously somebody had a lot more money than I did.
They had the car up for auction at one point too, didn't they?
They had the car for auction, and even the if you remember the Vanishing Point replica Challenger they used in this movie was at a place for sale I was at up in Branson, Missouri, and I was like, how can I cash out everything I own to purchase this and live in it?
Yeah.
Like, I must do it. I must do it. I must hang from the roof of this car and yell at people. But this movie's so great. You've got a phenomenal cast. It's shot like an old school film. You know, somebody like me who loves movies like Race with the Devil and Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, this is right up there. And this is when we started finally seeing a big return of Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell has gotten huge again, thanks to also going and being in the Fast and Furious movies and Guardians of the Galaxy. But this is a pure role that only Kurt Russell could have done with his amazing charm. You know, I love this movie so much.
Yep, I do too. I think Planet Terror I like a little bit more. But Death Proof it's amazing. It really is an amazing flick. Grindhouse as a whole has got to be one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know how high up on the list. I've never tried to rank my favorite movies, but I love Grindhouse.
It's hard. And I'm actually really upset that Grindhouse as a whole is not gettable anywhere. Like, it's not released anywhere. Even
is that
these
Blu-ray
movies
out of print?
Well, yeah. I mean, essentially, Death Proof and Planet Terror came out on Blu-ray in 2007. Since then, it's never came back out. These movies are really hard to get on Blu-ray. There was a Grindhouse set that came out. From my understanding, though, it was just a double set of both movies. There's not like a legit movie that's set like these were in theaters, you know, like where they keep going with the trailers and everything like that. Like it's never been dropped. This is something that should come out, and I'm not sure if this is an issue with the Weinstein Company with all the issues they've had, but this is nowhere.
Well, I'll tell you,
it's hard to
big
find.
problem for this movie was a massive bomb in theaters.
Oh, and it was so sad that this bombed. And it was
Me too. It
like,
was the most disappointing thing ever, Charles.
Yeah. And it was critically like bashed by everybody. And I'm like, what is wrong? Like, what do you guys want to see that's not this? This is so amazingly done. Do you not get it? I'm like, what's going on here?
Well, one of the number one problems with Grindhouse was the way they released it. They put it out on Easter weekend. I mean, dude, that's when every parent in America is taking their kid to see the newest, animated Disney
Tickle Bunny movies?
or Pixar or whatever. That's true.
If you're good parents, you should be taking your kids to see Grindhouse. If you're good parents, that's no. I'm not even joking. Right there, do it.
This thing became a I don't know. It was kind of a crusade for me because I want to say you and I saw it in an advanced screening.
We did.
Yeah. And after I saw it, I thought, holy crap, this movie is going to be amazing. I hope everybody goes to see it. And then they didn't. And I started trying to spread the word as much as I could. The Weinstein sent me a stack. Like, I'm not kidding you, like this thick of free tickets to go see it the next weekend. They were just trying to get anybody in the theaters to see this movie.
And it's not even like people complain, oh, it's too long. I don't want to see this. I'm like, it was only like a tad over 3 hours to watch both of these movies. That's how long freaking Justice League was. It was 3 hours long. I'm like, it's not that long, and it flows good because you got two separate movies. It's great to watch,
Yeah. Well, like Todd said, it wasn't promoted very well, and but the big problem is it was Easter weekend, and it just got buried under a deluge of kids films. I can't remember which ones, but there were. It seems like there were a couple of really big kids movies that came out that same weekend too. It was it was a debacle.
And like I've also heard that there was a big issue between Weinstein's and Rodriguez and Tarantino, that the Weinsteins didn't want this Grindhouse shit. They wanted both movies to be released separately as different movies. Like they wanted separate movie releases, a lot of it. And Tarantino was like, "Oh, we're gonna do it." And I think this is how it should have been released. It's beautiful, the way you watch it. It's an old school. Like there has been nothing like this since Grindhouse. There has been nothing fun. Old school throwbacks like this, and there probably won't be after all the shit this went through.
Yeah,
it upsets me in my heart, Lloyd.
I will say that it definitely inspired that Grindhouse wave of filmmaking that we saw afterwards, which it was cool for a while, but it got really old really fast.
Yeah, well, and a lot of people couldn't do it like Tarantino. Like Tarantino is an expert at these movies, everything he shoots, he does it in a style like he's making, like he was born like 70 years ago. Like he understands the style like so deeply. Other people don't. People try to imitate it with really crappy like digital photography overlays that don't work as well, and it just doesn't work. And I have to agree with Brad, because Brad Bingham wants to see a full-length Werewolf Women of the SS movie. My whole life has been wanting a Werewolf Women of the SS movie. Like, we needed that. Like, I always said that Sherry Moon Zombie needed to remake Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS. They needed to do that. It was needed.
I would literally take full films of every one of those trailers. There's not one of them I would pass on.
I agree.
They all look incredible.
Don't.
Thanksgiving
don't
is a fantastic trailer. That would have made the best slasher flick. Would have loved to seen that one.
Look, Werewolf Woman of the SS with Bill Moseley, Udo Kier, Nicolas Cage as Fu Manchu. I'm like, this would have been the greatest movie ever made in the history of cinema. I'm just gonna put it out there. It really would have been.
Yep.
We could add a whole slew of Ilsa reboots with Sherry Moon Zombie, and they would have worked if Rob Zombie would have directed them. Like, that's no joke.
Yeah.
But
Well, the only
alas,
one we
we never got
actually
it.
got was Machete.
we got Machete.
Yeah.
And everybody thought the rest of them were going to be made. Like, there was all these rumors that, all these are going to be made. And nope, we didn't get any others.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm honestly surprised we got Machete because of how, bad this did in the theaters. So,
the craziest thing about Death Proof is, the beginning of Death Proof was it was all shot in Austin. And it was shot at the Texas Chili Parlor in Austin. If you guys never been there, that's a great restaurant. But blew my mind is, I always thought they shot it in the Texas Chili Parlor because if you go to that restaurant, it's exactly that restaurant. But apparently they rebuilt that whole restaurant on a soundstage. And that blew my freaking mind because I went to that restaurant thinking that, it's the restaurant from the movie. No, they rebuilt that whole thing and it's exactly like it. But if you're ever in Austin, go to the Texas Chili Parlor because you got some good chili there. It'll give you the toots and make you feel good inside.
all right, there you go. There's a plug for the Texas Chili Parlor.
That place is awesome, really. It's great. They got some of the hottest chili I've ever had. They sell it by like levels, and it'll blow your toots out. Let's just say that. All right.
All right. So
But why
this
don't
is
you
on.
introduce the next one, Lloyd?
Well-
why don't you introduce the next one?
You don't want to talk about the where you can see this one?
Oh, okay. Well, so Grindhouse. So Grindhouse as a whole, guys. I gotta tell you guys, Grindhouse as a whole is nowhere. Like unless you could find a bootleg of that, you're not gonna watch that. Now, Death Proof is on Prime Video, which is surprising because Death Proof hasn't really been streaming a lot of places over the years, and you can also rent it on Amazon now. But the standalone Blu-ray of Death Proof is out of print. I looked it up; it's like $40 or $50 on eBay. Nobody wants the DVD of that. You can get that on Amazon for like a quarter, but it's still out there. Now the next part of Grindhouse is Lloyd's. We can talk about that one.
Yes. All right, here we go. After an experimental bioweapon is released, turning thousands into zombie-like creatures, it's up to a ragtag group of survivors to stop the infected
Woo, ragtag!
and those behind its release. It's up to a ragtag group.
Ragtag, like the A-Team,
Yeah. It's up to a ragtag group of Indians and cowboys.
I pity the fool who stands in front of me and my planet Terror.
And my ragtag.
My ragtag group.
Also, first premiering April 6th, 2007 as part of the Grindhouse double feature. It's the American exploitation, girls with guns, sci-fi action splatter zombie film,
It's a lot of genres.
Terror. That's right. Written, directed, photographed, and co-edited by Robert Rodriguez. The movie itself was released standalone in Russia and Israel June 21st, 2007. Planet Terror.
Planet Terror.
Now, this movie is my jam. I love this movie.
It's crazy. I knew this is your jam. That's why I gave it to you because this has Lloyd written all over it. This movie.
Well, you got Tom Savini.
Yep.
You got an amputee with a gun as a prosthetic leg.
Such a great cast. I mean, Bruce Willis is in this for Christ's
Yeah,
sake.
you got
I'm
Quentin.
like, come on.
You got Quentin Tarantino playing a typical creepy Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, they say Quentin Tarantino really co-directed this movie. They said he was basically on set with Rodriguez the whole time and was making notes and adjustments to everybody like a director. He was just never credited as director for it because it was a double thing. So.
Oh yeah. Bruce also wasn't credited in this movie either, was he? Bruce Willis.
I don't know. I know he's listed on IMDb with it as
Is
now
he?
Lieutenant Muldoon, but for some reason Fergie's in this movie too, which is weird. But I don't know why. But Fergie's in this movie.
Well, she was kind of a big deal around this time, wasn't she?
But this was you had a lot of people in this who had worked already with Robert Rodriguez. Bruce Willis was in this because he had appeared in Sin City. And he told Robert Rodriguez that, if you ever want me anything again, I'm there. And he called his bluff, and he got him in this movie, which is just so out there. So, good job for him on that.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot Josh Brolin is in this, too.
Josh Brolin's great in this, Josh
he's
Brolin's great in this.
fantastic. Jeff Fahey, Michael Biehn.
Yeah, Michael Biehn. This is just so... it's so wild and so just entertaining. You know, it's so much fun. It's just old schlock style fun. You know, everything you want in these movies.
Oh yeah, and it completely feels like a 70s exploitation movie. There's like so much like non-PC stuff going on in this movie.
Yeah. That's why you feel like it's a 70s movie, because there's stuff that can only get by in the 70s
Yeah.
that they through in this movie.
The little kid, he's got the gun, he pulls it out. She says, "No,
Yeah.
don't shoot yourself."
Yeah, don't shoot yourself.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
And that's the thing too about Grindhouse is both of these movies that were attached to it, this and Death Proof, were fundamentally different. I know a lot of people who love Planet Terror but don't like Death Proof, and a lot of people who like Death Proof but don't like Planet Terror. So it's like a different type of exploitation for some people. You know, some people don't like one or the other. So that's one of the fun things about it.
It totally is. There are two different subgenres of the main genre.
Yeah, but I mean, this was a lot of fun. You know, it was. Yeah, for people who critiqued this and gave this who tried to critique this, I'm just like you're stupid, because this is not supposed to be critiqued. This is supposed to be fun. This is a fun movie, not like, oh well, the cinematography was off and the editing was slightly askew. And I'm like, oh, go screw yourself. I'm like, it's just a fun movie. Come on, You're judging every '70s exploitation movie ever made. Like, come on.
Yep, and it's just perfect. I just love how the whole thing was presented, in that Grindhouse style. You felt like you were actually in an old Grindhouse theater watching, old beat up 35 millimeter prints with bad sound and missing clips and spliced together. And I mean, it's a great experience. And maybe one day we'll get a release, of that full experience again.
Yeah, I'd love to see a nice little Blu-ray release of this, something done with this that's special, but it doesn't seem to be on the horizon right now. It just kind of seems to be one of those movies both movies seem to be lost, both as Grindhouse and a standalone format, because much like we talked about Death Proof, the Planet Terror Blu-ray is out of print, and this one's more highly sought after than Death Proof. The DVD is actually out of print too. It's really hard to find. Blu-ray is hard to find. It's only streaming for rental on Amazon and Apple TV. And I think Amazon and Apple TV only have an SD copy of it too. It's not very good. So
yeah,
kind of sad.
Well, I've got the Grindhouse Blu-ray, the one that's actually
the Blu-ray,
says
right?
Grindhouse. Yeah, but
the one that did them both, and they had I think they did 2 discs, right? And then they had the trailers somewhere. There was a special feature, didn't they?
I think so. I don't know. I have to go back and pull it out and just check.
Somebody's got it out there. Somebody, but I've never actually had it. I've got Death Proof, but I don't have Planet Terror. So like I said, I watched Death Proof a lot, and I really wish this would come back out. This is something that I think would look great. I think both of these would be fun to be brought back out in a nice little set. So,
well, fingers crossed. I don't know what's going on with the Weinsteins right now after all of that scandal and stuff, so who knows, man?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's one of those lost in limbo. Like I said, both of them, the Blu-rays came out in 2007. They're both Weinstein Blu-rays, and there's never been anything released again. So what are we going to do but just say boo to you.
And cry. We have to cry, Charles. Whoops. Sorry.
We have to cry it out and then, get upset. That's all we can do. I'm going to shake it off, though.
All right. Shake it off, Charles. We got business to do. We got horror business to do.
We got horror business to do, Lloyd. All right.
That's right.
What's next? I got the next one here.
Yes, sir.
And this is actually another one that's hard to find, guys. And then we're coming up here. All right. Mistaken. This is a great movie. I'm sorry. I had to laugh. Mistaken for his character Ash from the Evil Dead trilogy, Bruce Campbell is forced to fight a real monster in a small Oregon town. First premiering April 13th, 2007 at the Ashland Independent Film Festival, also in Oregon, because this was shot in Oregon. It's the American comedy horror film My Name is Bruce, directed, produced, and starring B-movie cult icon Bruce Campbell, the man, the myth, the chin.
B. Campbell.
Man, this is a fun movie. This is such a great premise for a film, you know?
It is. And you kind of see some of this stuff kind of bleeds into Army, Bruce Campbell versus Evil Dead or Army of Darkness or what is the TV show? Ash versus Evil Dead. Sorry.
Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And this is real similar to don't you remember that didn't Jean-Claude Van Damme do a movie where he played himself and they thought he was an actual action hero or something? Like a couple years after this. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. What? It
that's
seemed
a
like
great
that
movie too.
kind of became a thing, and it seems like there were one or two other movies that were made along those same lines. I can't remember what they were, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. But My Name is Bruce is really fun. It is 100% a Bruce Campbell camp movie. It's so great to watch, you know?
Yeah. You want to watch the trailer? What do we have, a clip or a trailer?
I do want to watch the trailer. I think we have a trailer. Yeah, we have a trailer.
Okay, here we go.
Let's pull it up here. The trailer's great too.
I thought I told you to ditch all
It
the
really
monsters.
is.
Welcome to Gold Lick.
You know his movies.
Maniac Cop,
Maniac Cop.
Moonwarp.
Maniac Cop.
You know.
I mean, this is definitely it's of course going to be a must for Bruce Campbell fans, but even not Bruce Campbell fans,
Bruce Campbell.
will still enjoy this. But you really have to be familiar with his movies. You know, you may lose a lot of what's going on.
Yeah.
This was made for Bruce. This was made for Bruce Campbell fans. Like this was just a swan song for Bruce Campbell fans.
Your autograph. Ever see Rawhide? Yeah. Well, then you got to keep them doggies rolling.
And he's not unlike that in real life.
When your town's
That's
in
Bruce
trouble,
Campbell. I've
Bruce,
talked to
yeah.
Bruce Campbell enough times in my life to say that is freaking Bruce Campbell.
It really is. It really is.
He will kill every one of us.
So he just kind of
the only man
turned that into his, I don't know, what do you call it? He turned it into his
the
shtick. And
His shtick, yeah.
and
He
could
became
just do it.
he became Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell became Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, was that?
But it's a great movie. I mean, like I said, it was shot in Oregon, and something really great was done with this, and the fact that they didn't use any celebrities besides Bruce Campbell. Like everybody in there is really like, most of them are just people who lived in Oregon. They're not like professional actors; they're just regular people. A lot of people in the movie, and yeah, and it made it great. It's not a Hollywood movie.
Well, didn't they build the set for this movie on his ranch?
On his ranch, yeah, on his ranch, and he put a lot of his love and sweat and tears into this movie, and it became great. It really was great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stall the one ton.
It's a fun movie.
It's hilarious.
God,
You know,
that
he's a pretty good
Beetlejuice
director.
thing, man, I remember that.
Bruce Campbell, Ted Raimi, and
You'll find yourself smiling throughout this whole movie. It's just that great.
is good for your health.
Like I said, it's not just for people who love Bruce, but it really is for people who love Bruce.
Yeah.
Did you find this information? Bruce, that's drain cleaner.
If you
you know
love
what?
Bruce
I
Campbell, what they all
kind
do.
of think that Bruce has a he is a recognizable actor. Wow, that took a lot to get out, man. But yeah, he is.
You okay, Lloyd?
He is. Wow, I had a stroke, man.
Hey, I'm Lloyd Cryer. Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. I don't even remember what I was saying now, but I think a lot more people recognize Bruce Campbell nowadays. Just for Army of
Bruce Campbell
Darkness, and then there was Briscoe
has got
County
recognizable.
Jr. and
Yeah.
Burn Notice and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for a lot. If you're a Bruce Campbell fan, you can't ask for a lot more than this movie. I mean, it's so great. This is him at his best. It's Bruce Campbell being Bruce Campbell, playing Bruce Campbell as Bruce Campbell. I mean, it's just, what do you want me else to say about it, you know?
It's so meta, dude.
It's so meta. It's a solid film, though. You know, this came out way before Ash vs. Evil Dead. And I know a lot of people, when this came out, just really wanted more Evil Dead movies. You know, we never got that, really. But this is a good filler for the time period. But unfortunately, it's actually become quite difficult to locate, surprisingly.
right?
Yeah, it's not streaming anywhere, not even to rent. The Blu-ray is out of print, $50 on eBay. The DVD is out of print, and the DVD is like $30. But you can. I tell everybody, like, look for your out of country movies, because the same release on Blu-ray is region free in Germany for $9.99 plus shipping fees, so you can import this and watch it. So do it. You gotta go to Germany though. You gotta fly to Germany and buy it and come back. So you can get it. Sorry.
Okay. Well, there
Go
you
to
go.
Germany. No, but actually, you can order one on eBay or Amazon. It'll ship you one. It's like $8 to ship it. So enjoy.
Perfect. All right, we are moving right along, Charles.
We're trying. There's a lot of movies.
That's right.
Oh, Tyler said it's streaming on Tubi. Is it streaming on Tubi, Tyler? That'd be
Tubi,
great
Tyler?
to know. I didn't see it. On Tubi when I was looking it up. So if it is streaming, that'd be really cool to be able to watch it.
All right, cool. I'm going to read this one. Check your PM. I just sent you a private message on Zoom.
What does that mean?
Well, it's a PM. All right, so a couple stranded at a desolate, rundown motel find hidden video cameras in their room, as well as some very real-looking murders on the in-room videotapes. Released April 20th, 2007, it's the American psychological horror film Vacancy, directed by Nimrod Antal. Vacancy, y'all.
Vacancy is fun. Vacancy is a crazy movie, too. It's very old school as well.
It really is. It has that old school feel, the mystery and the twists and all that kind of stuff. This is a really good one.
It is, and I'm not the biggest fan of Luke Wilson, at all. But this actually worked out really well, mainly for the guy who played I can't think of his name, the guy who played the innkeeper, who is Brad from Pulp Fiction. Like a Brit, the big brain on Brit, whatever his name is. But movie itself was really creepy, and as somebody who travels a lot, myself, or at least I used to travel a lot, it's really uneasy that they check into this room and they're like, oh, let's put one of these videotapes in. Now, guys, if you ever check into a hotel, there's a VCR with random videotapes in there. Don't put them in, just leave. I'm going to tell you guys that right now, all right?
If you check into a hotel that still has VHS tapes, just leave. Get out
if you come
of
over to my
there.
house, I got lots of VHS here. If you come over here, it just rains from the skies over here. But none of it's snuff films.
Tapes,
Wait,
tapes,
it's
and
raining.
more tapes.
Here's another one. It's raining, Lloyd. But I don't have snuff films over here.
Now, the director Nimrod Antal, didn't he direct one of the Metallica 3D movie? I want to say he did, or he directed something else like that.
Through the Never, actually, yeah. 2013, he directed Through the Never.
There you go.
He's really disappeared. You haven't seen a lot from him lately. And
Well, what happened to
He directed-
Nimrod?
I don't know.
Nimrod, where art thou?
he directed like a movie I freaking love that nobody else loved, which is Predators from 2010. That was a fantastic Predator movie that expanded on the Predator mythology, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's dumb. There's
liked
no
it.
Arnold in it. Arnold's not in it. There's no Predator." I'm like, get out of here, Tequila
Well,
Flavian.
It had Danny Trejo in it, so it's good enough for me.
Yeah, it did. But
I liked Predators. Absolutely liked
I
it.
bet you did.
I
Because
did,
you're a
sir.
stud. You know that?
That's right.
It's because you're a big old stud.
So that's Nimrod Antal, director of Vacancy. What do you like most about this one, Charles?
Just kind of I think the story is a lot of fun. It flows really, really well, and it's actually pretty creepy. You kind of feel sad for the people in this movie because their car breaks down. They're in the middle of nowhere, and people who travel can probably relate to this. It's like you're somewhere you don't know, nothing works, and nothing's going your way. You don't know how to get out of here, except all you know is that you are trapped in this crazy snuff funhouse, essentially, is what it is. And it's really entertaining. It's very skillfully made. It's super tense. There's not a whole lot to the story. I mean, the screenplay is kind of one of those that you can write real easily, but it's very suspenseful. I liked it. And this is another one that people didn't see when it came out. It bombed. It bombed a lot, and I enjoyed it.
A lot, yeah.
It bombed a lot. Let's just say that. But it captures a very I guess, a very Alfred Hitchcock style of cinematography in it and storytelling. This
I was
very
gonna say
dismal,
that, but
dark style. Yeah,
yeah.
I'll agree with you there. It's just, I'm not a Luke Wilson fan, like I said. I actually didn't watch this for the longest time because of the fact that it had Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale in it. And I'm like, there's no way this can be somewhat good. And I watched it and I was super surprised, at the way it felt like an old Hitchcock movie. Oh, that's what I got. That's what I got.
All right. Well, let's talk about where we can see this. We can see it on Stars, or it's a $2.99 Amazon rental. Charles, you said that it's a standalone. The standalone Blu-ray is out of print, but you can get it on the Queens of Scream triple feature Blu-ray for $9.
Yeah. Surprisingly, when I looked it up, there's a standalone Blu-ray that for some reason people are paying $40 for, but the same print of that is on this Screams of something trilogy. It has like I Know What You
Queens
Did
of
Last
Scream.
Summer and something else. Yeah, Queens of Scream. And it's like $8 on Amazon. So I actually was surprised because I thought it was out of print, and I saw it on there, and I actually bought one because I was like, well, I want to watch that again. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm gonna buy one too.
I don't blame you.
So yeah, it's worth it for $8.
Cool. All right, brother. So you got the next one. Let's hit it.
Oh, what do we got? Oh, all right, guys. 6 months after a virus was inflicted on the population of Great Britain, the U.S. Army helps to secure a small area of London for the survivors to repopulate. But not everything goes according to plan. This was released May 11th, 2007. It's the post-apocalyptic horror film 28 Weeks Later, directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. And it's a sequel to the 2002 film 28 Days Later, and a co-production between companies in the US, UK, and Spain. I love this movie. I actually think this stands as an equal to 28 Days Later, in my opinion. It has one of my favorite openings ever in a movie. The opening of this movie is so intense, and it draws you in, and you're stuck the rest of the movie. It's so crazy,
Yeah. I really love this too. It's just a masterfully crafted film. That's what it's kind of
I
my
agree
whole
with you.
opinion
I mean,
about this movie.
I was there to see this in theaters like the first day it came out. Everybody was skeptical because you've got 28 Days Later that was somewhat of a very low budget independent type film, and this was a lot more bigger budget, more studio controlled film. But it worked really, really well. The story is so great. It adds on perfectly. Everybody in this movie is really good. It's shot really well. And yeah, it stands, in my opinion, to 28 Days Later. I really wish this was supposed to be a trilogy. We never got 28 months later because of how bad this one did at the box office, because we're going into a time where there was a lot of horror movies and not a lot of people were seeing them in theaters. And that was the problem. We're seeing a lot.
Yeah, too many, I guess. I don't know. I never understood that. I saw a lot of movies this year. I'll say that in 2007.
I did too. I saw a lot of these, and this was actually really, really surprised me. This one was so good.
Stars fan, Debbie Disaster just followed us on Twitch.
Oh,
yay! Thank you
Thank you
for the follow.
Yeah.
All right. So 28 weeks later, yes, I wish we would have got the trilogy, but it didn't happen. These are great movies, though.
Oh man!
And I need to get back and revisit these again because it's been a while.
Yeah, this one is so suspenseful. I mean, even when you get towards the end and they're trying to escape, and there's so much going on, but they kind of keep you you feel like they're safe, but they're not safe. And yeah, this is not just a popcorn movie. I mean, this is actually a really, really well-made film, really well shot. It had a lot of critique at the time for, I guess, what's referred to as a shaky style camera, which since then, everybody has been copying the style of movie, trying to make movies feel realistic by having their cameras like, oh, we're moving, you know?
Oh,
So,
yeah. Yeah, that shaky
I think
cam
this is a
thing got really annoying for a while, though. It really
yeah,
did.
it did, but I can say that it does kind of take a little bit away, but it gives it a realistic feel in this movie where you feel like you're there almost, and you're struggling with these people. And I'm still hoping that someday we'll see the third sequel to this, but at this point I don't think it would be any good because we're just too far past
Yeah.
these movies, you know?
You may be right. 28 Weeks Later is available on Hulu. Look at that. Awesome. $3.99 rental
Get
on
it, Hulu.
Amazon or Apple TV, Blu-ray, $7.99 Amazon. So, yay, you can still get this one.
Yeah, thankfully you can still get this one. There's actually a good double set of both movies out too on Blu-ray. This one was shot digitally, and a movie shot digitally is always going to look good on Blu-ray because there's no need to scan or print or anything. So we're getting into the era where there's no need for talking about, Blu-ray quality because once you shoot on digital, it's usually always pretty good,
Right. And it's the best you're going to get, right?
Yeah, it's generally the best you're going to get.
All right, man. Ooh, I'm excited about the next one.
Ooh. Tell us about it, Lloyd.
All right. A woman brings her family back to her childhood home, and before long, her son starts to communicate with an invisible new friend. First premiering at the Cannes Film Festival, May 20th, 2007, Spanish supernatural horror film The Orphanage, directed by J.A. Bayona.
J.A. Bayona. We actually saw this together too. This one, Lloyd.
Did we?
Back in 2000. Yeah, back in 2007, we went to an early screening of this, and that's where we saw it.
Yeah, and this one was produced by Guillermo del Toro, right?
This was a Guillermo del Toro produced film, and
Yeah.
this is a creepy as hell film. It has a very sad ending that I won't give away, but this movie was very riveting when I watched it. The way the story unfolded was great. It was shot very old Gothic style, and it feels like a Guillermo del Toro film that Guillermo del Toro didn't direct. It almost feels like he should have directed this, or he did.
Yeah. Well, he was probably very influential on the set, I can imagine.
Yeah, I agree with you. But this is one I kind of run into a lot that a lot of people haven't seen. It kind of surprised me, but it's a great ghost story, guys. Really is a great ghost story with a great cast.
Well, let's go ahead and run this trailer that we have for it, and we'll see what everybody thinks.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Simón.
Yeah, it's a super gothic, creepy supernatural film. It's incredibly good.
Really good. It keeps you guessing throughout it. You don't know what's happening. There's a lot of creepy things happening. You don't know what the basis is, a lot of it. And it kind of comes to a full at the end, and it's super sad, but it's really a great movie. Yeah, I can't remember. We did, though. We saw this. It was one of those Dallas Film Festival things they had played. We went and watched it because it was something else that was presented by Texas Frightmare Weekend back in the day. And I remember we were both there.
A dark place.
Yeah. I remember it too. I just remember how it is like you said, and everybody is apparently they're commenting about how very sad the movie is.
Very sad, but very well done at the same time. It's super enjoyable. Anybody who loves a good ghost story or loves old Gothic style films is going to absolutely drool over this movie. It's so well done.
Yeah. But it's got that Del Toro signature all over it, man. Okay. The Orphanage.
The Orphanage, man. The Orphanage. Where can we see this one at? Is it anywhere?
I don't know. Let's look. The Orphanage. $3.99 rental on Amazon, or $10 for a Blu-ray. I say go
Yeah,
the
the
Blu-ray. Do it.
Go the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray for this is actually pretty good. It's a pretty decent release that was brought out quite a long time ago, actually. It was brought out 2007, and I feel like it could use a re-release because back in we're talking about Blu-rays back in 2007, guys. It's not a big difference, but they were coded a little differently back then. They were using a different codec in 2007 to like 2010, and it's not as good as they use now. So you can actually, like nowadays, the way they do Blu-rays, you can compress them a little differently, and the picture looks just a little bit better. But other than that, it's a fun watch. So
awesome. All right, what is next, Charles? We've
next
talked about this a lot.
Holy crap! This movie destroyed me. This movie's such a horrible movie, but in a good way. A good way. I'm gonna tell you guys, coming from Charles, this is a movie that makes me a little bit uncomfortable when I watched it, but it's good. 4 months after the death of her husband, a woman on the brink of motherhood is tormented in her home by a strange woman who wants her unborn baby. First premiering May 24th, 2007 at the Cannes Film Festival. It's the French shocksploitation, and it's very much a shocksploitation film. Sadistic horror film, Inside, directed by Julia Mari and Alexandre Bustillo. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this movie.
I can't remember why, but we've brought this movie up several times on this show. So if
we've brought it up every time we've talked about a really demented movie. We've said, you guys haven't seen Inside. Yeah. This movie is holy crap.
Yeah, I was going to say I couldn't remember exactly why we bring it up every time, but I don't know. It's a great French horror film. It's based on a real life story that happened. It was where I can't remember where it happened, but it happened somewhere in the U.S. Man, it's brutal. Stephen Burke came in the other day and he watched it on our recommendation. He came into the Frightmare Collectibles, and he was like,
"You watch it once."
I mean, the look.
You watch it once, and you're like,
"Yeah." The look on Steve's face was that. So, but I definitely recommend checking this out. Just strap into your seatbelts, guys, because you're going to be in for a ride with Inside.
Strap in and get ready for something that's Ali Tapa said she's a French horror expert. Well, you must know this movie then, because I remember watching this, and I think I saw it like 2009, and I remember just watching it the whole time, and I was like, holy crap, what has just happened to my life?
Yeah.
This is one of those movies where you question a lot of stuff. You're like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah.
We're watching this. We're watching.
I just remember hearing about the real life case on TV, and then this movie came out, and I thought, oh, that sounds like that case that I heard about, and come to find out that's what it was based on. So
yeah.
It's some messed up stuff, y'all. It really is, but this is a great film. It's so incredibly well made, and
it's beautifully made.
Yeah, it's like that Dario Argento level of brutality and gore as art is what. That's the way I kind of view this film. To me, it just feels like it's an Argento film. The way he beautified death and any kind of violence.
Yeah, like you said, much like, Argento did really well at pushing the boundaries of human torment in a way that made it appear beautiful. And this movie follows the same sort of schema, really, of that. It's at the same time you're wincing, trying to look away. You can't look away because it's so well done. The cinematography in this movie is outstanding. It'll punch you right in the head, and it'll just leave you disturbed afterwards. A lot of this movie will leave you just disturbed. A very powerful film, though. Very powerful film.
Eduardo asks if it's the Inside by the Weinstein Company. So yes, it was released by the Weinstein Company back in the day. It only got a DVD release, if I'm not mistaken, in the U.S. I don't think it ever got a Blu-ray.
Yeah, I don't believe it's never got a Blu-ray release here. You can get a Blu-ray of this outside of the U.S. and import it in. It's not technically. I mean, if it was distributed by the Weinsteins, it's not technically a Weinstein film. Maybe if they did it in the U.S.
Yeah.
This was made by Le Fabergé de Films out in France, and this is an independent French. This is a French produced and made film.
Right. Yeah.
Lots
it
of
came out on that
worldwide.
The Weinstein label, Dimension something. I can't remember what it was. But
Dimension Extreme. Dimension Extreme.
That's it. Dimension Extreme.
That was a distribution company for the DVD back in 2008, 2009, was Dimension Extreme. That's how I saw it first. In reality, every country this was released on DVD or Blu-ray was by a different company. Noble Entertainment brought this out in Sweden, and NSM Records brought it out in Austria. Just everybody who could distribute this on Blu-ray, DVD, I mean. But I would highly recommend if you look around and you want to enjoy this film, and I keep telling you guys to get region-free players. There is an absolutely phenomenal Blu-ray release of this out in Sweden. Sweden brought out a phenomenal Blu-ray of this about 10 years ago. Super well transferred. It looks amazing. That's the best way to watch this movie if you can get it. And that Blu-ray is still readily available out in Sweden. So
does it have English subtitles?
That one actually does have English subtitles on it. So
sweet.
That one had Swiss and English and I think German subtitles. Had a bunch on it. So
perfect. Well, this. I highly recommend this movie, but somebody did comment a minute ago, and I'm gonna try to find. Perfect. That.
Well,
this is.
Okay,
I highly recommend this. Somebody
Debbie
did comment
Disaster.
a minute ago, and I'm gonna. Let me read that. She says, "Oh no, I read a plot summary. That's not one I could handle." Okay, so
guys, it's hard. It's
hardcore, but so I do want to warn anybody. Let me just tell you what the plot summary is. A woman's pregnant. There's a crazy lady who wants the baby, and so she breaks in to her home and tries to brutally extract the baby from this woman. And
she does.
Yeah, and the woman fights her ass off, and it's crazy. So, yeah, be warned. This movie isn't for the squeamish, but
no,
it's amazing.
This is French extremism. This is hardcore. Yeah. This is very much French extremism, and this is hard. And I'm not saying it's hardcore, but I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to persuade you guys not to watch this. It's actually a really amazing film. It's really well done, but it is very extreme. It's very extreme.
Super extreme, and it's a bummer, in a lot of ways, but it's worth it. Mr. 80 said it was a one-time watch for him. I think one time's great. I think one time
I won't watch it again.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It probably I chunked that movie down into like 3 watchings because, you can watch a few minutes and then you kind of have to back out and then come back and try it again.
Yeah, but unlike a lot of extreme films, we see a lot of extreme films that have come out of the last few years, and most of them are not good. Most of them are just extreme. They're just like, oh, I'm trying to be hardcore. They're trying to be hardcore at the sake of throwing away a decent film. This is not that. This is a really, really well-made film. And if you can get through it and you don't mind watching some extremism, give it a shot, guys. Really.
Yeah.
You're not going to find it streaming anywhere. This is not streaming anywhere. You're going to have to look out. You're going to have to seek out this film, like literally.
Well, and do not mistake it for the 2018 remake.
No,
please
don't.
I have not watched that remake. From what I understand, I'm not missing anything at all but a terrible, terrible remake of this movie. It was a U.S.-made remake, right?
Yeah, it actually came out in 2016.
Oh, 16.
It's on.
Okay.
The remake is on Hulu. The remake is atrocious in comparison to this film. It's not a good movie whatsoever. Stay away from the remake. Try to watch this original one.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely. Remember, we're in the year 2007, y'all. So make sure you look for the 2007 version of this movie. That's the only good
Yeah.
one.
Now, I'll tell you guys, if you see it streaming anywhere, it's probably not the right one. This is not streaming. The DVD, like I said, there's no Blu-ray release in the U.S. The DVD is out there. It's not super expensive. The DVD you can find used for like $10 to $15. Sometimes they pop up new, but I'd highly recommend the Blu-ray. The DVD doesn't do this film justice. You have to import the Blu-ray. You need a region-free player. So
Yeah.
get on that.
Todd Lewis says, "Shock for the sake of shock bores me. Give me some substance as well." This movie has
I agree.
substance. This isn't
I
just
agree.
about shock. I really do think there's a lot. There's a message in this movie. There's a lot going on. So
Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's not shock for the sake of shock. This movie's actually really well done. Really beautiful.
yeah. Let's see.
Tom Lewis said the remake is like the remake of The Fog. We're not going to The Fog again. I'm talking about the damn Fog.
Yeah. Don't. See
We talked about the
remake.
Fog remake once.
That's
Don't ever
right.
watch it.
This movie is not streaming, and Charles, you talked about that, and you talked about you can get other imports, right?
Yeah, seek out the imports. I know the Swedish one's the best one. There is a German Blu-ray too. I don't know if the German Blu-ray has English subtitles. That's the problem with a lot of German Blu-rays is they're really good, but a lot of them don't have English subtitles. So.
Yeah. All right. Okay, this next one, Charles, I thought you and I saw this one together too in a theater, but I could be wrong.
This one we didn't. Because I didn't see this for the first time until like 2010, the next one. It was a few years after. It was another
okay.
one that I was turned off by after we announced it, but like the next one's one I was turned off by from both the studio and also the cast turned me off a little bit. But I was proved wrong again, much like Vacancy.
Okay. A man who specializes in debunking paranormal occurrences confronts genuine terror after checking into a fabled room at the Dolphin Hotel. Released June 22nd, 07, it's the American psychological horror film 1408, directed by Michael Hofstrom, based on Stephen King's 1999 short story of the same name. 1408, Charles. I like this movie.
Man, I like it too, and Mikhail Hallstrom also brought another movie a few years later I really liked called The Right, and he's a really, really well, I guess, versed director in understanding these kind of old school style horror films. This has a lot of nods to horror films we saw in the 70s and 80s, and yeah, I can't say enough about how much this movie proved me wrong, because I went in here saying, boy, this is going to be stupid. And I was proved wrong. I really was. It was really a great movie. And it leaves you so confused. The ending in it is so brutal.
Yeah.
Like what's going on in it. You're like, holy crap. So,
I like this, and exactly like you, I thought, oh boy, this is going to be a stupid haunting movie. It's got John Cusack.
Yeah,
How can it be good? It's just not.
how can it be good?
Yeah.
There's going to be CGI in it or something stupid. There's going to be like flying elephants with ghost mask or something dumb. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought, oh boy, this is not going to be good. I know I saw this at like a press screening. But I enjoyed it. I went in thinking it was going to be stupid. My expectations were not high at all. And I came out thinking, well, that was fun. I enjoyed that. So I definitely recommend 1408.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's equally terrifying, but it's also a really moving film. And there's a lot that goes in here that has you questioning like your own, like what you're watching on screen at that time. It's generally chilling. It's like you feel for this guy who's in this hotel room that he can't seem to escape. It's like it's menacing. It's like and you like at the same time you're almost frustrated because you're like you're in a hotel room and just leave, but it's like he can't. It's like he's trapped. It's it just gets you. It gets you in all the feels. You're like, oh my god!
Right.
It really took me by surprise.
I was very surprised as well, pleasantly surprised. Like I said earlier, so I recommend this, and not just if you're into that whole haunted, subgenre. I think it's great as a Stephen King film too. And then Samuel Jackson is perfect in this movie.
Samuel L. Jackson is actually really good in this, and I know one of the things that turned me off when this came out is the only thing that turns me off a lot of movies. If I see more than one or two writers on a film, I get really turned off. I think this one had like 3 or 4 writers on it, and that's something I get kind of skeptical about. But the writers in this one were actually really good. I know most of them haven't done a whole lot, but like Larry Kowalski wrote some of this, and he went on to write Goosebumps a few years ago, the movie that came out, which was a lot of fun.
That is a fun movie. Yeah,
it's a fun movie. And Scott Alexander actually wrote Ed Wood back in '94, and he was a good writer. So they actually had a pretty good cast, going on with this. Yeah, I mean, pretty good crew going on with this. And yeah, like I said, I was totally pushed out of what I thought this was going to be. And like you said, a lot of it was having to do when I heard the cast, because like Tony Shalhoub was in this, John Cusack, and I was like, oh. And even when this movie started, the first like 10 minutes, I was like, oh Jesus, I'm not going to be able to get through this. And it really, I stuck with it, and it proved me wrong. It did prove me wrong.
Well, and I kind of hate to say this, but I think this might have been John Cusack's last movie that I liked. I got real excited when I heard that he was going to be in The Cell. And then I thought, oh my
God.
I know.
The Cell with Samuel Jackson again.
Yeah. I thought, oh my God. John Cusack and Samuel Jackson are back to do another Stephen King adaptation. I thought, great, this is going to be awesome. Ooh, was I wrong?
That movie gave me diarrhea. So it was that bad. It did. It gave me diarrhea. That's no joke.
I was reading. What did somebody just say that you can't
that
say
they got
that
diarrhea from The Cell?
No, he said you can't say that, Lloyd. The ending to The Mist was terrible. I'm trying to see where that was written at. It's just popping up on my screen.
We're not talking about The Mist yet, and we're not talking about The Mist yet. We may talk about The Mist at some point.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Is it your little friend Steve that lives in your head? Is it Tony, the little boy that lives in your mouth, Lloyd?
No, it's Eduardo Gonzalez. I don't see where
I'm
it
Lloyd.
is.
I'm Lloyd. Tony lives in my
Eduardo
mouth.
Gonzalez. You can't say that, Lloyd. The ending to The Mist was terrible. Yeah, we haven't. We're talking about another movie, right, Charles?
We're not talking about The Mist.
That's right.
But I'll fight people on The Mist. Me and The Mist are friends. Yeah. But 1408 though is a great movie. It's very thought-provoking film for being a horror film that is very simplistic by nature. The screenplay for it is almost like is a charade of simplicity, because it seems simplistic, but at the same time it's really not. They wrote a lot into that to where like that is really like a star of great writing, when you can write something that when you watch, you're like, well, that seems like a really easy screenplay, but it's not. When you start digging into it, there's a lot going on in this movie.
Right. All right. So 1408, we do recommend it, right?
I recommend it. Now, you said John Cusack. I thought that you liked, what was the movie he was in, Lloyd? 2012? Wasn't that like your favorite movie ever? About the end of the world, Lloyd? 2012? That's all you talked about.
I think this was like probably his last good movie, don't you think?
I don't know. He does like 19 movies a year. He does like Super Dogs in Space and Igor and The Paper Man and Super Piano Man and Animal Man, and I don't know what he does.
I'm trying to look here. Yeah, I don't see any. Wow, he does have a Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Hey,
okay.
Hot Tub Time Machine was a good movie, but
yeah,
which one was he? Hot Tub Time Machine was fun. I'll give Hot Tub Time Machine.
Well,
that.
this is part 2, which I liked part 2 as well. I liked both of those. Anyway,
but he doesn't do a whole lot. He's not known for making the best choices later in his career, but this was a good one. We'll go with that.
okay,
But I can give
agree.
him crap. I mean, if somebody said, Charles, we're gonna pay you like $100,000 to be in The Cell, and it's gonna be shitty, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, we're gonna go rock that movie. I'm gonna be in that movie. It's shitty. Let's do it. I'm gonna be in The Cell. Hello, Cell. Let's
There
do
you
it.
go.
But hey, guys, watch 1408. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll be surprised. This has been around a long time. A lot of people have seen this, but I'm surprised this isn't streaming anywhere unless you want to rent it. Amazon has it to rent for $4. And the Blu-ray's like $15. It's not too bad. It's still readily available. So,
All right. You got the next one, and guys, we are going on to another French horror film.
another one that's a little much. Let's say that. A gang of young thieves flee Paris during the violent aftermath of a political election, only to hole up in an inn run by neo-Nazis, because, of course. First premiering at the Agi Film Festival in France on July 1st, 2007. It's the French-Swiss sadistic horror splatter film, Frontiers, written and directed by Xavier Gin. The film was given a limited release in the U.S. with an NC-17 rating in 2008 as part of the After Dark Horror Fest, and that's where I saw this movie. And this is another one that's a little, it's a little much. There's a lot going on in this movie too.
There
So
really
say
is. Let's play the trailer for this one, and we'll keep talking about it.
Let's do it. All right.
All
What do we
right.
got?
Seems like there's some rioting here.
Well, they're probably looking for Furby dolls, aren't they?
They're looking for Furbies back in 07.
Yeah. I don't know what happened in 07. Was it
Beanie
Furbies?
Babies or oh,
Beanie
they're
Babies,
smoking
that's what it
weed,
was.
man.
Well, that's not good.
That's bad. No smoking weed. It only
What
takes
happens when you
one
smoke weed?
injection. Right?
It takes one weed injection to ruin your life.
That's right. And you'll end up like that guy.
You end up like that guy, all messed up.
Yeah, this is another.
There's a lot
brutal-
going on that though. This is a brutal movie too.
Oh, yeah,
It
another
is.
brutal French horror film. They were absolutely killing it when it came to brutal horror.
Yes,
this
they
year,
were.
And then what? I mean, we've already talked about several French horror films in 06 and 05 and going back, but
I know. There's this whole French extremism movement that was going on at the time of this horror film. There's a lot of them going on. You know?
yep. Frontiers, unrated director's
Frontiers. Man, this movie is a solid NC-17, and the fact that it actually was released as part of the After Dark Horror Festival, has an NC-17 rating in the U.S. is super uncommon. You don't see that much here, and yeah, this movie is. It's not as good as the last one that we talked about. That one is a masterpiece. This one has some problems.
Yeah,
This
I'll agree with
almost
you.
falls. This almost falls into like what some people were mentioning, like shock for shock value only, and but it is pretty fun, in the way of watching some of the brutal crap that was going on. And if you love movies like Hostel and shit, you're gonna love this movie. You're gonna love this movie a lot.
Yeah, you definitely will. I heard somebody compare this to they called it like the France's answer to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I mean, you've got some things that are very much borrowing from popular slasher films, like most notably Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but a lot of films definitely do that. I mean, you've got some
Sure.
feelings of like Wrong Turn in here too, kind of, for the family, Still Have Eyes kind of stuff. It does have a fun plot, great locations, great shots. The acting's a little, some of the stuff seems like they're very much just overacting for scare's sake, but no, it's really, really good. In the sense, if you like sadistic shit, you're gonna like this movie. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So there's no U.S. Blu-ray release.
Again.
You can get a DVD for $10. It was released on Blu-ray in Europe. You can import it. You can import a Region B from a few European countries for $15 to $20, or you can rent it for $3.99 on Amazon.
You can rent it to $3.99 on Amazon. This movie, sometimes I've seen this movie appear like twice in the last 5 years on Netflix, and I'll tell you that Netflix had this on the actual like their streaming platform last year and like 3 years ago, and every time it comes on, it's on for like a month and it disappears again. So maybe they'll put it back.
Complaints.
Yeah, probably. They'll probably put it on for little Timmy. He's trying to watch Thomas the Toot Train Man. He's like, "Mommy, what's the chainsaw for?" Oh,
Yeah.
But no, it's a good movie though, guys. If you can, I would say this is one that you could probably just get your DVD for. It's nothing that I would say you need to go out of your way to maybe import a Blu-ray for. There's nothing amazing on this, like the last one we talked about. The DVD maybe will do it some decent justice of giving it that sort of gritty feel that this could thrive from. So
Yeah.
but if you like these kind of movies, don't miss this one. I mean, if you're a Chainsaw fan or if you're, a Saw or Hostel fan, you're going to enjoy this a lot. But guys, remember, this is going to be subtitled. There's no dub in this. You guys got to embrace the subtitles in your life. Yeah, you got to embrace the subtitles.
I do know Inside actually had a dubbed English track on it.
Yeah,
So-
it's stupid. Don't watch it.
But yeah, you're not going to get that with Frontiers.
I'm gonna tell you guys, the inside dub is not good. It takes away from the impactfulness of the film when you're watching it because it doesn't give it the same effect.
I definitely agree. All right, so moving on to the next one. This is another
Oh Lloyd, you got a
European
good one.
film. It's a great one, yeah. So a television reporter and cameraman follow emergency workers into a dark apartment building and are quickly locked inside with something terrifying. First premiering at the Venice Film Festival August 29, 2007, Spanish found footage horror film co-written and directed by Jaime Balaguero and Paco Plaza.
Paco Plaza.
This is Wreck. Wreck is it's a great movie. It's a really good found footage film. When we were getting a lot of found footage films, and most of them were really terrible.
Not good.
Point. Yeah. This is a really, really, really good one.
This one is a really good one, and I'll say that I'm guilty of seeing the remake of this before I saw the original one, because at the time the remake was accessible when it came out, which we'll talk about when we get to that year. But this one is leaps and bounds better than the remake. Not that I didn't enjoy the remake; it was fun. This movie is so well done. This movie it'll give you nightmares. This is truly a superb horror film.
Yes, and it's an amazing example of how to do a found footage film correctly.
Oh, I agree. And this is a good example of how to do it, like you said, correctly, and even how to do horror correctly in general. It's both interesting and frightening at the same time. It's super claustrophobic. You're jumping out of your seat during this because there's so much stuff going on. It's outstanding. I like this, and I remember, like I said, seeing the remake and then going back and watching this, and I was like, oh, well, that's a lot better. I was like, wow. That's definitely a lot.
And I will give the remake a little credit. I thought it wasn't terrible. I liked the remake. It was a lot like the original. But yeah, the original is much better, and it feels a lot more genuine. You really feel like you're watching an actual, newscast,
broadcast or something.
Yeah, it's good.
And that's the thing about it is, you feel like you're watching this broadcast, and you feel like you're seeing something you're not supposed to see because the acting in this movie is so good that you're generally just feel bad for this poor lady, like she's subjected to all this strange crap that's going on. And this is this follows, of course, the trip we saw way back with Blair Witch. And this movie, though, is, in my opinion, far superior to anything Blair Witch ever accomplished. I think this movie is so well made that it sits above a lot of other found footage movies that it not only followed because it came after, but also ones that tried to copy it after this. That's just my opinion.
No, I share your opinion. It's superior in lots and lots of ways, and so I can't recommend it highly enough. If you haven't seen Wreck, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I mean, this is a movie that is a found footage movie, but boy, it uses the bare minimum of resources that's around for a film to make it so highly effective. And that's what makes it feel real, is they're not trying to make things overly crazy. Like, if you want to talk about an example of a found footage movie that went way out, is Cloverfield, which I think is a decent movie, but it took to the next level of CGI and all kinds of stuff to put in these found footage movies. And this one doesn't do that. It's got some scary scenes in it, very much fear-inducing scenes. If you're claustrophobic, you don't like darkness or tight spaces or any combination of, you're gonna be biting your nails for this whole damn movie. You're gonna be like, I don't like this. That's how you're gonna feel.
Yeah, I totally agree. Really good, highly recommended. There were a bunch of sequels to this. None of them really matched the effectiveness of the first one. I like the second one because it kind of continues the story, but the other ones were.
It picks up right after it. Yeah,
mm-hmm, yeah.
Rec 3 is interesting just because it left this story and expanded on it a little bit in a different area, but it was not equal to this. I love all the Rec movies just for how they promote super strong female characters, through these movies who are facing these dire situations and they don't need somebody to save them. They're saving themselves. That's always a lot of fun to see. But these movies are great, really well done.
Agreed. All right. So let's see. Wreck. And you can watch it on AMC Plus, $3.99 rental on Amazon and Apple TV. And the only U.S. release is the Shout Factory Wreck Collection, and it's $49.99.
$49.99. And if you guys have a region-free player, which I keep telling you guys to get region-free players, Arrow Video in the UK has a fantastic standalone release of this movie, Wreck. And I think Arrow's print of this is a lot. No, I don't know which one Shout Factory uses, but if you have a region free one, there is two different versions from the Arrow one, and they're really well transferred over. They're 24 frames per second on 1080, and they're beautiful. So I keep promoting the region free because sometimes other countries have better releases. It's just how it is. And it's not because I love Arrow. I do love Arrow to death, but the Arrow release is really, really good in this in the UK. So
sweet. All right, you are next up. You've got a good one.
This is a one for discussion.
Yeah,
say that.
It's going to be polarizing, I think.
A man locked up in a mental institution since he was, and I want to say too, guys, if you've seen, we've talked about a lot of movies and we're not done yet.
Yeah, we're still going, bro.
A man locked up in a mental institution since he was a kid escapes and returns to his hometown to find his baby sister. What could this be? Released August 31st, 2007. It's the American slasher film Halloween. Written, directed, and produced by Rob Zombie, a reimagining of the 1978 film of the same name, and also a film that has basically every horror person ever in it. So, what do you think, Lloyd?
Well, I said this was going to be polarizing before you introduced it, and I think it still is. I actually really like this movie. I know a lot of people hate it because it's so different from the original. But I think they both stand alone, and they can stand alone. I like that we get to see more about young Michael Myers, and we learned about him and we got really deep. A lot of his character was really developed, and in the original, I like that too. That he was more of a mystery, the boogeyman kind of a thing. But I dig it, man. I think this is a good remake.
It was an interesting take to make him human almost, by presenting him as this demented child, and a lot of people hated Michael Myers talking as a little kid, people didn't like him actually speaking.
Right.
I'm going to say I was one of the people who saw the leaked work print version of this movie before it was released. If you remember, there was a big controversy way before this was released, and it was a lot. I think I looked this up and said it was like 4 days before the release, but no, it was like 3 months before the release. I remember a work print version being dropped, and I was guilty of watching that work print version. And I'll tell you, I liked that work print version a lot better than what was released in theaters. And that work print version was a lot different, and it's not really easy to find anymore. But this is what was supposed to be is this movie. Now, I'll say as well, I enjoyed Halloween. Some people didn't. I thought it was an interesting take on the character. And I guess what's hard for me is trying to figure out if I actually like this movie or if I like the cast that's in this movie. That's kind of my problem. Because there's a lot of fantastic people, and like every single freaking role they could cast is somebody. You got Malcolm McDowell, Brad Dourif, William Forsythe's in this. Tyler Maine's great. Udo Kier's in this, for Christ's sake. Clint Howard, Danny Trejo, Tom Towles, Daniel Harris, Lou Temple. I mean, every scene is like somebody you love. That's kind of hard to think outside of that box. But I think he took something that could have easily been another Halloween Resurrection debacle and made something new and interesting for people. He made something that was different.
Right.
Now, is it ever going to be some of the Halloweens we loved in the 70s and 80s? No, it's not going to be 78. It's not going to be Halloween 2, Halloween 3, but has its own movie. I think it's good. And that's not talking about the sequel to this, which is something completely different.
It is something, and that is another topic. Another topic.
For another day.
For another day.
That's a whole show. That's a whole show topic.
Well,
right there.
It's going to take a little more time. I appreciated what he did with this movie. He gave us a little background. He gave us a little day in the life of Michael Myers. We got to kind of see him, like you said, as a sympathetic character. Not unlike a serial killer, like Dahmer. You can kind of sympathize with Dahmer, even though he's a monster and the things that he did were absolutely terrible. You kind of get that little bit of a feeling from Michael Myers in this movie.
And I'm going to tell you, I knew before this came out that, and I knew this, that anybody who was a diehard Michael Myers fan, diehard Halloween fan, was not going to like this movie. Like, I don't care if they showed the original Halloween, they probably been like, no, it's stupid. I don't watch it.
Right.
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's how some of these people are. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, everybody who shits on this movie, let me tell you, at least they didn't do a shot-for-shot remake like Gus Van Sant did with Psycho, all right?
Oh,
at least we didn't get that.
Thank God, right?
At least this is what I wanted Gus Van Sant to do with Psycho, is try to make something new and original, a new take on the story. And in my opinion, Gus Van Sant is an example of a failure of a reboot. And this is a good example of a reboot. Not without its flaws. There is some technical flaws in this. There is some script flaws. There is some stuff going on that's not good. But if you step out of your head from being a Halloween fan and watch this as a movie, it's actually a pretty interesting story about a serial killer, like you said, like Dahmer, who's a little boy who's struggling with his insanity and finally loses it and embarks on this lifelong journey of being a freaking sociopath, psycho,
Yep. So, it's good for what it is. To me, it doesn't ruin the original. Even if a remake is super terrible bad, I don't think it ever ruins the original. You can always go back and watch them. So, like I said earlier, I appreciated what Rob Zombie brought to the table here, and it's a good flick.
Yeah.
I say watch it.
I say watch it, and it's out there, guys. I think I'd be surprised if somebody hasn't seen this who's watching this. I think everybody watched this movie when it came out. Like, everybody did.
Yeah. All right, so we've got a trailer
What do
for
you
that,
got,
don't
Lloyd?
we? Did we watch that yet?
Oh, yeah.
Let's watch
roll
that
it.
trailer. All right.
The trailer's fun. Let's roll the trailer.
Late last night, 10-year-old Michael Myers was transferred after being found guilty of first-degree murder. Myers' verdict comes after one of the lengthiest and most expensive trials in the state's history.
Whatever happened to him?
You know, I see him on Facebook every now and again, and he seems like a nice kid.
Yeah, I think I'm on Facebook with him too. He was in Hitch with Will Smith, wasn't he?
Was that the superhero Will Smith movie?
Yeah, not Hitch.
Yeah.
It wasn't called Hitch. It was called something else.
I can't
Hancock.
remember. Yeah, there's Dee Wallace.
We've had like everybody in this movie at Frightmare. Everybody from this movie has been at Frightmare.
Well, we had Christina Cleave way back. We had Scout Taylor Compton. Of course, Malcolm is a frequent regular. Dee Wallace is a regular.
Udo Kier.
Voodoo. Danielle has been at our show like 4 times, 5 times.
I've grown up loving Danielle. It's a love affair between me and Danielle.
And Tyler Maine is a big, giant, awesome dude.
That guy's so huge. He's terrifying.
I know. He's massive.
Bro, he did this show. Like, he put his hand on my head, and I was like, "You scare me." I was like, "You're so scary."
I got a picture with him, and I felt like I was a little person.
I dwarfed him. I was like, "Oh my god, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good day. Nice to meet you, man. You're so large."
Yeah, he's a giant, and I know that bothered a lot of people too. That he was this big Hulk in this movie. Michael Myers was, but I kind of thought that was a cool take on it.
Yeah,
it was just
an interesting guy.
Yeah, it was just a neat adaptation of the movie. You're never gonna beat the original Halloween. It's just not gonna happen.
No, never gonna do it. And at least Rob Zombie could recognize that. He tried to make his own thing,
Yep. Agreed.
Unlike the sequel, which we'll talk about the sequel later. Let's do the next one,
will.
Lloyd. You got the next one.
Well, we didn't talk about, but you can get. I mean, of course, Halloween. This movie was on all kinds of DVDs and Blu-rays, and
Everything,
it's just
Blu-rays.
This movie's everywhere out there. Plus, I doubt anybody watching this show has not seen it that wants to see it. So it's just not going to happen at this point. All right, the next one. A troubled young man still mourning the childhood loss of his family now has to deal with his professor being turned into a monster. Excuse me. First premiering October 9th, 2007 at the Sitges Film Festival in Spain. It's the Canadian comedy horror monster movie Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer, directed by John Knotts. Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer. Been a long time since I've seen this. I remember that after Hatchet, this was one of the next big things that Anchor Bay was promoting really heavily, was this movie.
Yeah, they were promoting it pretty heavily. Robert Englund's in this, and he plays the professor, and he's really great in it. This is a nice throwback to 50s and 60s style horror, in my opinion. It's very similar to that comedic, really schlock style of Army of Darkness, that really goofy hero that's fighting a bunch of stuff that's way out there. And this is the good old days of just like candy popcorn movie that you're sitting down and enjoying. It's better than your average goofy B horror flick, but it's nothing phenomenal. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. It was a fun movie. In that era, but man, 07, I mean, we're on like 15
This is a
films.
monster.
Huh?
Yeah, this is a monster year. Look at this year. It won't stop.
Huge. It's huge. So, I think it's a fun flick. Looks like you can watch this on Prime Video, Roku, or Tubi. $1.99 rental, or there's a $10 Blu-ray for it. So I recommend at
we're
least
kinda-
giving this one watch.
Yeah, give it one watch. We're moving a little fast here, guys, because it's almost 9 for 2 hours now. We've still got 4 more movies and an honorable mentions reel after this. But
Yes.
yeah, Jack Brooks Monster Slayer. If you like crazy 80s movies like Night of the Creeps, that kind of stuff, you're gonna love this movie. This movie's out there. It's so much fun. This is a movie you put on late night when you want something stupid and enjoyable to watch. It's still fun, and it fits that category of 50 style weird monster movie. It really fits that style.
Yes. And I'm seeing a lot of people that said they never saw it, so that's good. I think this is a good one to go back and rediscover.
Yeah, and there's some. I see people say they saw and didn't like it either too. It's a mixed bag movie. We say a lot, but a lot of people see it, don't like it. You have to like those 50s style, like goofy, ridiculous movies. That's what this is. Same way as the 80s. Not as good as a lot of your 80s ones, but it's fun. It's a fun watch. Don't take it too seriously. Get some popcorn and a Coke, and you'll enjoy it.
All right. So I think you have the next one.
Yeah. After moving into a suburban home, a couple becomes increasingly disturbed by a nightly demonic presence. First premiered October 14th, 2007 at the Screamfest Horror Film Festival in LA. It's the American supernatural horror film Paranormal Activity, produced, written, directed, and photographed and edited by Oran Pillay. Paranormal Activity took everybody by storm when this came out. And the interesting thing about this is I was so taken aback when this came out because the girl in this, Katie Featherston, me and her went to school together. We were in theater arts together. We did theater arts together. We did plays and school stuff together. And I had no idea what happened to her ever until this trailer came out. And I was like, the hell's Katie doing in this movie?
Yeah.
The same thing happened when she came to Frightmare. She remembered me. And I was like, yep, it's me.
That's me. Yeah.
Charles.
I remember you telling me
Goofy
about
son of
that.
a bitch. Yeah. We did we had to do scenes from Shakespeare together once, a whole bunch of stuff together. And it was weird. And then, I don't know, she went out to LA and made this movie that everybody wanted to see when it came out. Everybody was wanting to see this,
Yeah. Well,
am I a fan of it? Not the biggest.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
I'm the same way. And
It's,
I liked it, as a as a novelty, I guess.
Yeah.
But it completely blew me away how popular this film was. And then they made a bajillion sequels.
Oh God, all the sequels. Of course, I went and saw this because, I went to school with the girl in it. I acted with the girl in it, and I was like, well, I got to see this now. But, it was so hyped. And to me, it was just, it was something done 1,000 times. It wasn't done new. It wasn't done better than other stuff. It wasn't shot that well. It was, I didn't enjoy it. I walked out of the theater just like, all right, well, it was a movie. It was made. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was, but I had to bring it up just to the fact that, I grew up with Katie at school. It was weird,
Well, from what I understand, this movie was made as big as it was because of Steven Spielberg's involvement. He saw it and thought it could be a big deal, right? And then he kind of helped catapult it to that level. And then there was so much hype and
it was
a
all the
lot of
hype,
advertising, man. A lot of advertising for this movie.
Yeah, a lot of advertising. Advertising was everywhere. It was a lot of person to person advertising too. They had everybody recommending this to their friends and family. Even people who hadn't seen it were like, "Oh, we got to go see it because everybody's got to see it. It's happening." And it was just it was like a haunted house movie that's been done 1,000 times, and it was nothing, amazing.
Well, Katie was a guest at our show a couple of years ago, and she was absolutely the best.
She's sweet. She's a great lady. She's really nice.
Super sweet. After the show, she sent me a thank you note in the mail, which I rarely ever get that, and I don't expect it from guests, but it's a really cool surprise to open up a card and go, oh wow, Katie said thank you for bringing me in, and that was it. It was really sweet. So she was a sweet person, and I'd love to bring her back someday.
Yeah, I guess something you got to give this movie too is all the marketing. This movie was shot for like 20 grand, and it made like 30 or 40 million worldwide. It made a crap ton of money, and I know because of that, Katie and the other guy in it, Mika Sloat, also got a lot more money because they were only paid $500 for this initially to be in this movie.
Yeah.
they got a little bit more of a bonus from that. So
Right.
good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them, because I'd be mad if I got paid $500 for a movie and I started and it made like $40 million.
Yeah.
Worldwide. I'd be like, hold on.
Well, that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Can I at least get a Honda Civic or something out of this? Come on, can we do something?
Yeah, hook me up. So Paranormal Activity, you can watch it on Showtime, or it's a $2.99 rental on Amazon, or you can buy a $10 Blu-ray.
Yeah, you could buy in the. They'll probably give you a Blu-ray. If you go to Walmart, there's about 900 Blu-rays sitting up there for this thing. They're like, here, take one.
They've got extra.
They've got extra.
All right. Doodle-doo. Did I put up the poster for that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably not.
There
Who
it
knows?
is.
Even the poster told you to tell your friends to go see this movie. Gotta see it. It's Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. Well,
Whereas,
do you think some of the success was due to the social media blowing up around that time as well?
Oh yeah, that's the only way. Yeah, well, I guess that's a good way to call out. This is at the birth of social media, really about the start of social media, and this had a social media campaign that everybody traveled. So it's a good call out. Yep. And even the poster said, "Demand it." Demand it in your area.
Yeah,
everybody demanded it.
That was a big thing for this movie because they had that demanded in your area, and people would get online and say, I want it in my town, and it seemed to work really well for them. So I guess this is what good marketing can do for your low budget horror film.
I mean,
millions of dollars.
Be honest,
marketing.
yeah. I mean, I can guarantee you that the director of this cleared a nice few $1 million from the back end of this, from everything. So.
Oh yeah, and Oren Peli, was he the director or I can't remember.
Oh, he wrote, directed it, did everything.
Okay.
This movie, edited it. He did everything.
Oh, the guy has all kind. I mean, after this was such a huge success, he pretty much had it made. He's done all kinds of stuff, producing, and it really.
All he does is produce.
Yep.
And it's because he made so much money in this. He produced like Chernobyl Diaries. He produced the other Paranormal Activity movies. He produced one of the Insidious movies.
Yep.
It's all his money. He made enough money off these damn movies that he's just riding it. He's riding that train.
Keep investing and keep making more.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that. Can't knock him for that.
Yep. All right, so let's go to the next one. We have 3 left, guys. Will we name your favorite? Will we name it? Stay tuned.
I don't know.
After this message, we should go to like a 90-second break now.
Please try new Rowan Sons original brewery beer.
Exactly.
175 years of brewing here in Texas. Now, when I drink beer, I only drink Rowan Sons Brewing Company original. 9.2 fluid ounces, 4.5% alcohol by volume.
I was just
request
kidding.
it now if it's not local.
I was just kidding, Charles.
Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
There you go. All right. After an Alaskan town is plunged into darkness for a month, it is attacked by a bloodthirsty gang of vampires. Also first premiering at the Screamfest Horror Film Festival on October 16th, 2007. It is the American horror film 30 Days of Night, directed by David Slade, based on the comic book series of the same name, 30 Days of Night.
Third movie of the year that I thought was going to be dumb and proved me wrong.
Yeah,
let's say that.
I know this movie was really, really good. We've got a trailer for it, so let's roll that.
Let's watch it. And and the acting in this. I'm not a Josh Hartnett fan. He's not the standout of this movie. It is Ben Foster and Danny Houston in this. Now, Danny Houston, who plays the lead vampire, of course, is Angelica Houston's brother. Boy, that guy's an actor. That guy is so good. And of course, Ben Foster is Danny Houston's been around the last few years. He was in X-Men Origins. He was an Aviator, but he popped up in one of the American Horror Story seasons, a couple of American Horror Story seasons as well. He's a fantastic actor, and I think he'd be a great guest at some point. If anybody could ever get him to come to a show, he'd be a great guest.
Gotcha.
Ben Foster, of course, is in this, and this is kind of early in Ben Foster's career, not super early, but before he blew up. And he is another great actor. This came out the same year that he did 310 to Yuma, and that made him a huge star. He's a great actor. But this movie is so well shot. It's storyboarded so great. It flows well, and it surprised me. It's equally entertaining and brutal at the same time. What's going on in this town?
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised by this movie too. Produced by Sam Raimi. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Vampires dying for this Jake.
Yeah, in my day, I've seen a lot of. I can tell you guys, I've seen a lot of vampire zombie type movies. This kind of fits in the boat, the way the formula is. But this one's really good. It's really good. This is definitely a lot better than a lot of vampire-ish movies that were coming out in the last decades before this. This really stepped it up.
I'd be willing to say too, it's probably one of the better vampire movies ever made.
I'll agree. I mean, it's up there in top vampire movies. There's not a whole lot of really good vampire movies because a lot of them are not made that well because they're marketed to the wrong people. A lot of them have been marketed to teenagers over the years, and this is really well done. It's the ending kind of hokey. The ending is on it, but the movie's super enjoyable throughout the rest of it. Really held on the backs by these great actors in it, and yeah, really recommend it by me if you haven't seen it. Super effective. And a lot of fun. Super stylish, very dark. It does very well with it's 30 Days a Night. The way they shoot the dark scenes are really well done. So I enjoy it.
Yeah. And we got to mention that it was written by Steve Niles based on his stories from the comic books. Steve Niles is a fantastic writer.
Yeah, he is.
I wish we had gotten more out of him, but I'm even looking through stuff here, and I thought we
he didn't do much else.
Yeah, I thought we would have a lot more from Steve Niles by now, but I don't know.
I know he wrote like a video game or something after this. Fear, one of the Fear video games. It was like that, even like one of the original ones. It was a video game he wrote. That video game was actually really good. He's a good writer, so
yeah.
But
he had reached out to me. We had him at the show. Reached out to me, wanted to come to the show, and so we said, "Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to have you." This was after 30 Days a Night came out, and then he offered us. He asked me, he emailed me, and said, "Would you be interested in bringing in Bernie Wrightson? We're real good friends, and we both live down here in Austin." And I was like, "What? Okay, yeah."
You're like, what? What?
Yeah. Oh, I love Bernie Wrightson. So that was great. And so, like I said, Steve was a super nice guy to offer to hook us up with Bernie as well. And it was great to actually have both of them there and have Bernie there before he passed away. And that was kind of all thanks to Steve.
You were like, Bernie, what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bernie. Oh. Bernie's coming.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. No, it's a cool story, and yeah, I mean, talented man. But yeah, I'm glad. I unfortunately didn't ever meet Bernie when he was at the show, and I really regret that. He wasn't on my my. I don't even remember why, because even at the time I was picking everybody up from the airport. I don't even know how he somehow got away from me. I think they brought themselves in from Austin.
I think they might have both driven up, yeah. And I did get to speak with them at the Saturday night VIP party. They both walked up to me, and Bernie said, "I sold everything I brought." And that was on Saturday night. And I was like, oh, that's so awesome. It makes you feel really good as a promoter when a guest says, "I did amazingly well." And
That's like Grizzly Adams. He's like, I'm going home, Lord.
yeah,
Bye.
yeah.
I'll
Saturday
sold
night he was like, I sold out. I'm going home. I was like,
Like,
okay.
Oh, Grizzly. I remember, I think it was either you or him called me like 7:30 on a Saturday, and I was like, I need to get to the airport. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I've sold everything.
Oh yeah, I
right.
called you because I was like, dude, Dan Haggerty just told me he sold everything and he wants to go home now. Can you help me get a flight for him? And Charles
Yeah,
was
I
like,
got him a flight.
okay then.
I was about 4 or 5 beers in, but I found him a flight. I had to call the airport, but I found him a flight. I was like, let's do it. Let's go,
Funniest
man.
thing I'd ever seen. But look, this is a great movie. Did we say
Great movie, guys. Let's get.
it looks like a rental, and there you can buy a Blu-ray for like $5. So boom.
This Blu-ray's been $4.99 on Amazon forever. It never goes any higher. So
Well, go get you one.
now we're coming up to something here that is I'm gonna tell you guys is my favorite movie from 2007, and I'm saying it, and I mean it.
Okay.
All right. A freak storm unleashes a species of bloodthirsty creatures on a small town where a small band of citizens hole up in a supermarket and fight for their lives. This was released November 21st, 2007. It's an American sci-fi horror film, The Mist, written and directed by the one and only Frank Darabont, the man, the myth, the legend who got screwed over by Walking Dead. It's based on the 1980 novella of the same name by Stephen King. This movie is so amazing, so well shot, so well acted, so well edited, so well directed, so well scored that it is my favorite pick of 2007 is The Mist. And I will stand by that regardless of all the amazing films we've talked about this giant year. It's The Mist for me, guys. It's The Mist.
Charles, I will not disagree with you. I love The Mist. They made this. I was really impressed with how well they did with this, with the special effects and the CGI, and I mean they nailed everything. This is a good time for at the movies watching The Mist.
Yep. This was filmed in Louisiana, and if you're ever bored and want to go see the outside of the supermarket from The Mist, it's still there, and it's abandoned. It's outside of Shreveport, Louisiana. You can go see it.
Yeah,
and it looks just like it did in the movie. Looks just like it, but it's Frank Darabont. Is a fantastic director. Frank Darabont is one of the best directors of the last 20, 30, like 30, 40 years now. He's a fantastic director who hasn't done much. You know, we've got Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, and then basically The Mist. And then he did one episode of The Walking Dead, got screwed over by The Walking Dead, and basically disappeared. And he's gone.
It's terrible.
And I hate that. I want him back. Because he's so great.
Well, the only problem that I have with this movie is the ending.
Huh? I love it.
I know a lot of people love this movie, and I get that they like it for the brutality, but it just wasn't believable to me. I don't believe.
Really? I think
as a father, I don't believe that a father would shoot their son so quickly.
I don't know. It was really quickly. They've been dealing with that for a long time.
I don't know. I just feel like I would fight so hard for one of my children. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he did a lot of fighting, but I don't know. I don't think I could pull that trigger that quick, man. It would have to be to a point where a monster is running towards me, and I know there's nothing that I can do to save my child.
I'd shoot him for you, Lloyd. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. But
Get over here, you little son of a bitch. We're all going down.
I absolutely
it's all over.
Freaking love everything else about this movie. The ending was disappointing to me. I would have rather had the novella ending, in my opinion.
Yeah. Frank Darabont, he took it a different way. He wrote the screenplay for this too. He took the novel, turned it into a screenplay. I think I love the ending. Thomas Jane at his best in this. And Thomas Jane's not known. I'm a Thomas Jane fan, but he's not known for being the best actor. And he does really well in this movie. I got to meet Thomas Jane once, and he's a really nice guy.
He is super nice. Did we
really
meet
nice
him
guy.
at that event? Did we both go to that?
Same event. One of the Dallas Comic-Con things back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Really small
before
event.
Fan Expo. Yeah, it was real small. And
Yeah.
the
real
word had
small.
just came out, too, that his wife was leaving him or something.
Yeah.
And it was all over the gossip, news and everything. And he was having to deal with that the whole weekend. And it was just, he did his best, but man, he just seemed beat up that weekend.
He did. But I guess I'm on the opposite train of you of The Mist. I like the ending of it. I think it's so emotional. You can feel this movie. It's of course definitely an homage to 50s and 60s monsters movies. This whole movie is, but it's super terrifying. It's super unsettling. The CGI is good in it. There is, if you look back now, there is some weak points in the CGI here and there, but for the time, it's really great. And, I think that taking a sort of almost a short story almost was from Stephen King and turning it into this monumental epic is really great. And if you guys haven't seen the TV show from this either, the TV show was actually pretty good. That came off of this. And that's a lot of fun too. But I think there's a lot of humanity in this movie.
I gotta try that TV show again because when I saw it, I saw the first couple of episodes and I was like, they started changing everything about the story around, and they changed
a lot of stuff around. You kind of have to set yourself aside, and you have to act like this doesn't exist because this movie's so good. The TV show is not as good as this. The TV show is enjoyable, but it's not this. And I think this is a good example of a King adaptation done right. We've seen so many shitty King adaptations. This one is so out there. And when I rewatch this, and this is another movie I watch a lot. I watch the movie a lot, and it makes me sad that we don't have more Frank Darabont movies out there because he is a phenomenal writer and director.
Oh yeah, he's a master. All right, so that is The Mist, and then
hard to get. It's running on Amazon. The Blu-ray for this is actually really, really phenomenal Blu-ray. It's out of print though. It's usually $40 or $50 if you find it. The DVD is really, really cheap. I actually have a DVD over here signed by Thomas Jane on my shelf, but the DVD is not that good. If you want to stream it, sometimes it pops up on Amazon Prime and Netflix, and that's a really good streaming copy if it comes up. So it's not right now though.
All right, perfect.
All right, got one more though, Lloyd.
We have one last flick. We have almost made it. After this movie, we're going to do honorable mention. And then, Charles, you might have something. Do you have anything to give away tonight, or are we going to do that another night?
No, I've got to give away. It's over there. I got to go get it.
Okay.
It's hiding.
So everybody hang out with us until we get to the giveaway. And we've got a few other little things to talk about. So stick with us. For now, here is the last film on our list for 2007. Interwoven stories demonstrate that some traditions are best not forgotten as the residents of a small town face real ghosts and goblins on Halloween. First premiering December 9th, 2007 at the Butt-Numb-a-thon Film Festival. This is the American anthology horror comedy film Trick or Treat, written and directed by Michael Dougherty. I'm already seeing from the comments that this one is a favorite for a lot of people, I believe.
Yeah, let me tell you guys, this was shown at the Butt-Numb-a-thon Film Festival 2007. This was not shown again till almost a year later at the Sitges Film Festival, the horror festival in October of 2008. So there was one showing of this. That everybody talked about, and it was not shown again for almost a year to see this again. And even then, you could not see this movie in the U.S. for quite some time. They showed it at a couple film festivals in 2008.
Yeah.
And in reality, you could not see this movie until it came out to DVD in 2009 or early 2010. This movie was hard to see. It did not get distributed right at all.
Right. Well, I mean, it's an independent film, isn't it? Or was Warner Brothers always I want to say Warner Brothers was behind this, weren't they?
Yeah, I believe this was it's kind of a weird one. It was not a Warner Brothers film. It was like kind of an independent film, but through a lot of the festivals and DVDs, it was presented by Warner Brothers. This is one of those that was like Warner Brothers presents Trick or Treat. That's kind of what it was. It really was a film that was done, and you can call it an independent film because, I mean, the guy who made this fought to have it shown for years. I mean, it was shown, and everybody liked it, but it had a hard time, getting screens, getting shot, and really a lot of people didn't see it till it really was called a direct to DVD or direct to Blu-ray film, because that's kind of what it was. It was, looking it up, it was October 6, 2009. So 2 years later, for a lot of people were able to see this film after hearing so much about it. It's so great. It should have been shown in theaters, a lot more theaters.
Yeah, it definitely should have. It's a great flick. I love the wraparound for this movie. There's just tons of things I like. Sam is a cute little mischievous character that stole a lot of people's hearts. Yeah, Quinn Lord.
He goes poking around with his little hat off. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? Hello."
Yeah.
Hello. I love this movie though. It's so great. The stories are so great. This is a movie that, like, when you watch it, you're like, this is a cult classic. This is a movie that should have been enjoyed in theaters by like large groups of people because it is super enjoyable. Like, this should not have been direct to Blu-ray like it was,
Right. And it definitely feels like a throwback to the those old Halloween-based horror movies that we all love. So I'm a big fan of this. We had Quinn Lord at the show a few years ago, and he was great. Was he still a teenager at that time? I can't remember, Charles.
I think he was,
so he
because
was born in
he's only like,
99. Yeah,
he's only like 20 now, 21 or 22 now.
Yeah. He was really cool. A lot of people loved having him there. I mean, that's kind of the person you want to meet from this movie is Sam.
Yeah. And he's Quinn's went on to a really great career. I know he did Man in the High Castle TV series for like 20 episodes. He was on that. He's been on a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I mean, Trick or Treat is a good example of a phenomenal film that was like left to rot on a shelf, basically. Like, it fought to get screens to show it. And finally, by association with Warner Brothers and et cetera, it got some distribution rights. And as soon as this hit Blu-ray, though, this was everybody's movie. Everybody loved this movie. Everybody needed this movie in their lives. And I agree. It blew me away. And I was almost sad when I first saw this because I knew about this movie for like a year and a half and I could never see it. Yeah. And it was one of those that you just couldn't see. And it was so great when I saw it. It was almost sad to me, like some of the junk that was coming out to theaters, that this movie could not get like a theatrical release. It was so sad.
Yep. Well, it's pretty cool though, because I mean, Michael Dougherty, he's the guy who is known for writing Superman. Which Superman movie? Superman Returns.
Superman Returns, which that's a different story.
I don't know. I actually like Superman Returns. I really do, but yeah, you're right. That's a different story. But
he did a few of those because he did X-Men 2 that was early 2000s, and they did one of the Urban Legends movies, and then Superman really got him some acknowledgement, but he was able to make this, which he wrote and directed.
Yep, there you go.
Then he went on to do Krampus. Did he direct Krampus like 7 years later or something?
He directed it. Let's see, Krampus. Yeah, he was the director as well.
Let me tell you about Michael Dougherty is he revived Godzilla for me because he's the one who wrote and directed Godzilla King of the Monsters that came out in 2019, which finally felt like another good Godzilla movie. I was like, thank you for that, Michael. Thank you.
There you go. All right, Trick or Treat, Cinemax, $2.99 rental on Amazon and Apple, and I think that's is that a Shout Factory or a Scream Factory Blu-ray? I can't remember.
Yeah. There's two different Blu-rays, guys. There's a standalone Blu-ray and there's a Shout Factory. You want the Shout Factory one. It's still $20 on Amazon. That one is going out of print, I know, because it's I'm not sure if it's been announced or not, but that one keeps going up in value, keeps going up in price, which tells me that the quantities are getting scarce.
Which
you have
one?
to follow the Shout Factory one.
Okay, screen.
You have to follow the Shout Factory Blu-rays. If you see them start going up by like $4 or $5, that means the quantities are getting scarce, and you gotta buy it if you want it. So
perfect. All right, so that was the last movie. Let's move on to honorable mentions.
Honorable,
has
and I'm
made
gonna
this...
get us a giveaway movie over here. I have. So
Go for
let's
it.
do that.
All
You do
right.
the honorables.
Charles has made this beautiful video highlighting some of the honorable mentions in 2007, the year in horror.
I found them. The men who killed my family.
He was killed in the woods where your family died.
His face had been eaten. Now tell me, Inspector.
What did everybody
You
think
are
of
the family
Hannibal
of the
Rising?
law. Yes.
I expected
Did you
more
catch
from
who
it.
did
Maybe I need to
No.
go back and watch it again.
Then we are both suspects.
Hold on over.
The folks in town think there might be 9 more
The
plagues.
Reaping. Oh, yeah. I remember this one.
You're in great danger.
Do you remember what it was?
The Reaping.
What do you remember? The Reaping.
Never seen this one, Charles.
What you got?
Hansel and Gretel.
That's actually a great movie. Don't. Don't. How am I not going to put that on there? Come on.
Gotta put that in there.
These guys, the honorable mentions are good. It's just like,
I know.
and there were some more honorable mentions I could have put in here, but I had to stop.
Yeah.
This place.
Not enough time.
People come here.
Definitely not enough time.
People come here to kill people. What?
This is a fun movie. It sort of borders
yeah,
more
bro.
adventure. Yeah, it sort of borders more adventure than horror, but it's a lot of fun. Kind of that like Lake Placid Anaconda style fun. you know?
Right, right.
Oh, here we go. It's happening. I'm gonna make this movie one day, guys. Me and Lloyd are gonna star in it.
Need to save Hitler's mad dreams, or will the pride of
This is what we're making at the house.
fall into ruin?
This is my project.
We are now in total control of pure Wu.
We'll watch each other. Yeah, I like this one. But I like
It's a
all
fun
of these. Yeah, I like all of these
That's the
body
thing.
snatcher movies.
I mean, we had like 18, 19 movies on our normal list, and I think a lot of these honorable mentions could have been on there too.
Yeah.
I had a hard time. I was cycling through a lot of them, like, well, geez, what can we talk about and not talk about? There's so many movies this year.
Mm-hmm. Wrong Turn.
Here we
2.
go.
A lot of people
There he
really
is.
love Wrong Turn 2.
Henry Rollins is in it, for Christ's sake.
I know.
You're not going to love it. I remember being at a festival once and then randomly walking by, and Henry Rollins was just like on stage talking, like at random, like a really small stage. I was like,
Everyone who
what the
dies.
hell is Henry Rollins doing here?
Yeah. He shows up at the craziest places.
I love this movie, and I'll fight people over this movie. I do a lot.
Do you?
But I have a love for George. You know that. Me and
Yeah, I
George.
know. I wanted so much more from that movie.
Yeah.
Borderland was good.
Oh, this is a great movie too.
Oh yeah.
This one's just popcorn fun. You guys know I have a guilty pleasure for all these movies.
Oh yeah. There's nothing wrong
I
with
can
that.
tell you they start to get not good at whatsoever. But I still watch it.
Didn't they have kind of a bub character in one of these movies?
Yeah, they did. They had a few characters that were kind of homages to some other ones.
Yeah.
This is another fun one too that should have been on our list, but we don't have time.
Angela.
This is a great movie.
E2 is great. Yeah.
Very well done.
What happened to my clothes?
Yeah.
What do you want?
I've seen you drive out of here so many times. It's strange being with you.
Now this guy went on to do the Maniac remake, right? Calhoun.
Yeah. Calhoun. The Hitcher. This is just another fun. It's not the best, but there are some fun scenes in this movie. Sean Bean is so crazy as this character. Sean Bean's really the standout of this movie because he's no Rutger Hauer, of course, but he really embraces this crazy character like Rutger Hauer did.
Maybe I need to. You know what? I always got that one mixed up with the Hitcher 2, which didn't I have Gary Busey's son?
Hitcher 2 had Jake Busey in it.
That's right. I've never seen either one of those. Then
don't watch Hitcher 2. Watch the remake if you want something fun. That's just I don't know, just dumb fun, kind of like some other movies you talked about.
Right.
All right, Lloyd. Let's do a giveaway.
Do it, Charles.
I've got a VHS copy of Star Wars 2: Attack of the Clones, Lloyd. That's what we're giving away.
Yay!
No, I'm just kidding.
Star Wars 2 on VHS.
Bro, jump. No, I've got a Blu-ray copy, a double feature of. Here you go.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Bad Dreams and Visiting
Hours.
Hours.
One. I like that. Bad Dreams is good. It's one of my favorites.
I like Bad Dreams.
I like Visiting Hours too.
This is Lloyd Cryer wins this, guys, for being best host of the year.
Hey, Visiting Hours is good. That's got
yeah. You like it?
That's got the guy from Star Trek is in it, isn't he?
I don't know. The guy from Poltergeist. I don't know. The guy from Too Fast, Too Furious. I'm just throwing out movies now.
No, isn't Shatner in that movie? Visiting Hours? Isn't he in like it at some point or something?
I don't know. William Shatner's in every movie.
I know I'm way off.
William Shatner was.
I know it's
William
got
Shatner
what's his face
Shawshank
from
Redemption.
Scanners, but why am I thinking that?
Yeah, Michael Ironside's in that movie, but I don't know if. No, William Shatner's like Visiting Hours. I think he meant Bad Dreams. Yeah,
he's in it.
He's in Visiting Hours.
Yeah,
he's in Visiting Hours. I don't know why I was thinking Bad Dreams in my head. I was thinking of somebody else. All right.
Yeah, William Shatner.
I don't know.
Good. I like him. He's a good actor.
If you want to win this, tell me who the guy is who played the crazy guy in Bad Dreams. You know who I'm talking about, Lloyd?
Oh yeah, the crazy guy, the villain, the villain
of Bad Dreams. Tell me who the villain is of Bad Dreams, and it's a guy who is always quite terrifying looking.
So, what are you watching YouTube or what?
Yeah, I've got it.
No, it's the bad guy in Visiting Hours is what you're talking about.
No, Bad Dreams, and Ashley Guillory got it. Richard Lynch.
Well, wait a minute. I don't know because somebody else answered it on Twitch first.
Let's look at the times.
No, it was definitely this one because I thought you were asking about Ironside, but you were asking about Bad Dreams. Sorry. So Stars
Bad Dreams.
The winner is actually Stars fan Debbie Disaster. And
Disaster won.
I've never seen Debbie Disaster, I don't think. So you win. Look at that. Woo! How about we celebrate it?
Debbie Disaster. Well, good for Debbie. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, there is a big delay, but I saw the Stars fan Debbie Disaster first. And then Charles said YouTube. So she won.
Well,
sorry.
We're going to give it to her. But I'm going to send something to Ashley anyway. Why about that?
Okay, do that. So
I'm gonna send something else to Ashley because Ashley deserves something.
Do it.
Because Ashley knew really quick.
Well, those that do not know, if you win something, you've got to message us either on FrightmareHQ.com or at the Frightmare HQ Facebook page. Send us a message. We're gonna need your address, and that's it.
Yeah, hit me up, Debbie, and hit me up, Ashley. Debbie, you're gonna win this. And Ashley, I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna send you something else. I'm gonna send you something magical. I don't know, something secret that I got a whole stack of shit. I got a whole stack of shit over here. I'm gonna send Ashley something too, just for knowing so quickly Richard Lynch, because Richard Lynch is a great actor, and I need to celebrate both you guys. So
that is right.
Sending Ashley something too.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up pretty quick. We've gone for 2.5 hours tonight. This has been one of our longest shows ever.
Jesus, this is like back to the '80s when there used to be like 500 good movies. You know?
That's right. So we've got a couple of things to announce. You've probably already seen it, everybody out there, but we do have confirmed for March 20th at 2 p.m. Central Time. Corey Taylor is going to join us.
Corey's coming.
That's right. He'll join us live on Frightmare HQ. He wants to talk horror movies and his upcoming appearance at Texas Frightmare Weekend. So that's going to be a great show. March 20th. Go to our Facebook page. It's on our events tabs on all of our pages.
It is our events tab. And Edward Gonzalez asked about region players. Yeah, you want to get a region-free Blu-ray player, Eduardo. They're not that expensive. I'd give you a recommendation for a couple good ones, so do it. Should be coming up, and we're planning a couple more Patreon shows coming up this weekend and stuff too. The 14th, we're doing a Patreon Jala show, and that's fun.
What day is that?
And then the 14th,
this
coming
weekend.
Up.
All right, I
Sunday.
Gotta remember that.
Sunday. We did one a couple weeks back, and we gave away our Patreon box. Those are all in the mail. So, whoop whoop whoop.
Awesome.
Yeah, it should be good. We got more stuff in the works coming up, so there'll be some more good shows coming up soon.
Definitely. If you're not a Patreon, go to Patreon, look us up, Frightmare HQ. You can join for as little as $7, but $9 is that's what everybody subscribes to. Charles and I have chatted briefly about maybe just getting rid of that whole $7 thing because nobody even subscribes to that. So
they're all $9, and $9 gets you the giveaways and all our stuff. So you might as well just do $9 because you get some cool giveaways on our Patreons. Last month I gave away a Japanese program of the Funhouse from the 80s, the original one. And this month it's a bonus Patreon giveaway. I'm going to give away an original one sheet of something. So it's going to be fun. Ooh.
Sweet.
If you guys don't know, Charles has a lot of posters. I'm going to give away one to our Patreons that I have. So
Travis said we need to fix the delay on the chats at Frightmare HQ. I have no power over that. I don't know.
That's magic, guys.
Yeah,
that's sorcery. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on there. But one thing that I did want to plug real quick is
plug it.
Not that
Trick or Treat.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody, I want to plug this movie, Trick or Treat. Everybody, check it out.
It's been out for 12 years. Watch it.
Let me see if I can find it. We may go away for just a second, but let me.
This Saturday, though, I don't know. Maybe we'll do a movie again. We'll do a Saturday night movie or something. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to talk about was the Frightmare Collectibles event that's coming up. I don't have the graphic right in front of me, but April 3rd, Felisa Rose, Dave Sheridan are both going to be guests. Yeah, so we're going to have vendors out there. Charles is going to be set up for Frightmare HQ, selling VHS tapes out front and other stuff, and then we'll have several other vendors, plus Frightmare Collectibles is open. Panther City Grill will also be there serving up that yummy barbecue that you guys have known to, or come to love.
Oh, it's so good.
It is good.
So good.
So everybody look forward to that. RSVP at the Facebook page if you can. And I think that's it.
That's it, guys. 20th is Corey. We don't know what's going on this Saturday. I know it's been like 3 weeks since we've done a Saturday 2:00 show, and it's really just because we can't find anybody. Everybody's got back to work, and everybody's like doing their stuff right now that some restrictions have lifted. It's been a pain in the ass to get anybody to come on with us. It's been hard.
It really has.
It really has.
So what I'm just doing is I'm just reaching out, and I'm just seeing what people are available for, and then we'll just kind of book them like that. That's kind of how Corey Taylor ended up. That was a good day for him, so that's what we're doing.
Yep, we're good. And if you guys, we good talking to you guys. Last video I posted was the Demons 4K unboxing. So if you want to watch that, that's on our YouTube. That's pretty good. And if you guys want Demons 4K, it's not available anywhere. So I will say that I've got 4 copies of it. So maybe I'll put them up. Maybe they'll be for sale at the Frightmare Collectibles event. Who knows?
There you go. All right, guys. I think that is it. I want to thank everybody who joined us. Looks like we had some really good viewership tonight. Thank you all. I hope you can come back and join us again for the next episode. Until then, my name is Lloyd Cryer, and I am here today with...
It is Carlos Blueberry.
And together, we are Super Frightmare HQ.
Yes!
Y'all have a good evening, y'all, and we'll talk to you later. Thank y'all very much.